Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Dynasty Daddy Trade Show. Where else would you be? Jeremy, we are a couple weeks from kickoff, Thursday Night Football. How you feeling?
We're getting close. We're getting close. Well, as we saw last week, one of my teams that has Anthony Richardson as a QB2, it's got a little bit of scrambling to do some places, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited to actually have meaningful news, not just random. Oh, this person who knows this person said this about this. It's like we actually have actionable news to do, and then we're so close. We're so close to meaningful football.
Heck yeah. What's up, Dabadoobie, Zeno in the chat? Let's hit the intro and get into it. We've got I want a little tease ahead. We had the Dynasty Daddy startups kickoff. So we have 3 startup boards to take a look at. 2 12x10 Superflex lineups, 0.7510 in premium, and 1 best ball. Start 2 tight end, also 0.7510 in premium. No, I did not get Bowers or McBride. Spoiler, but we'll take a look at those later. But first,
oh dang, I forgot that was 2 tight end.
Dude, I want to do a shout out. I want to do a shout out to DS. Big DS deserves the biggest shout out of all time, with Will trying to commission and set up these leagues while he was on his work trip, checking in between meetings and going out drinking with the company. It was brutal for your boy. I had a great time, but for the probably for the boys that were in the startup.
Well, yeah, I'll give a shout out to Big Diaz as well, and you will putting a lot of work in to actually make these leagues happen. So I do really appreciate all of that.
We'll see. It'll take a while.
It may be me. Maybe I'm just like a old man at this point. I just feel like sleeper notifications, every time I open it up, it's like 600. I wish you could like be like, oh, you're on the clock, here's a trade. Like, I need a better way of managing those notifications, but
like
that's just an issue probably.
Yeah, the chat notifications versus like the on the clock stuff. Yeah, Jeremy, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I definitely did 1 or 2 trade/picks that were for the content for you guys to get to talk through. Jeremy,
okay, there we go.
I was gonna make fun of Jeremy for having like a boring startup in some of the leagues, like not a ton of trading so far. But I actually really like your team, so I can't make fun of you. But it's okay. We'll get to it. First one here, Andrew. What is up? 10-team Superflex PPR, Pickens and Downs and Tracy, or Hampton and AD Mitchell in a 10-team Superflex. We don't know starters.
10-team Superflex. One PPR. My guess would be 10-team is probably relatively shallow.
Yeah.
Like I haven't seen many 10-team like start 14s or something where you're like,
I usually see 10x10. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I would probably say, since it's a really shallow format, just give me like a Hampton side here. The upside's huge. AD Mitchell's probably just a clogger in this range, but if I can consolidate what probably would be flex/bench players in a 10-team super flex league and get a Hampton who could be a top 5 running back sometime in the next 3 years, and certainly a top 5 dynasty running back, I would definitely do that.
Yeah, and I see Zeno's got a note here. I wouldn't do all that for Hampton alone, and I think it's tough because you definitely are speaking from the perspective of assuming it is a like 10x10 super shallow league.
Okay, I think we got the format.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is 10 by 10.
Okay, 10x10. 2 flexes.
Gotta do quick math.
Yeah, I mean that is the tough thing about this. The other side for this one, like I do love Hampton and hear what you're saying, but man, Pickens, Downs, I'm in on Tracy as well at cost, but yeah, I think this is kind of the price you have to pay for the potential hammer. Yeah, for sure.
This is a format thing, right? Yeah. If it's a 12-team start 10, you're like, okay, cool. The amount of depth there matters, but this is really just comes down to format, and it's like I can probably get decent production elsewhere because depth, like a Downs or a Tracy, like guys that do have those upside but isn't a consistent stud.
Yeah.
Like the more shallow it gets, the more upside you need to shoot for. Like a decent Downs year isn't going to do you anything.
Yeah, and two, the other thing to think about is like put yourself in this league 10x10 and just think about having these players on your roster and how much easier it will be to move I mean, we haven't seen true NFL from Hampton, but first round running backs, hit rates, we talk about it all the time. Chargers, Najee, can he see out of both eyes? Is he even going to start practicing soon? There is so much more. You could get this package tomorrow in different players. Insert whatever players you want that are in those ranges for Hampton if you wanted to. And I'm not going to do an AD Mitchell blurb, even though I do like AD Mitchell. I won't subject you guys to that, so we can move on. 12-team Superflex half PPR start 9, no tight end premium. Stroud and Mike Evans or Trey McBride and Stafford, and some positive Stafford buzz. We got him back at practice. There's still some weird vibes, uncertainty for week 1, but at practice at least. Which are you taking, Stroud and Mike Evans or Trey McBride and Stafford?
This is kind of hard, and I think it comes down to how do you feel about
situation. I think it's the QB situation too. On the other side, like if my team is like I was really banking on, I mean, A-Rich is kind of tough to do, but like if you have no QB room outside of Stroud and are making this move, and you're like, I'm still getting QB back in Stafford, that is a little spooky. And we'll talk about it in the startups. We saw some interesting little spoiler look ahead teaser, some interesting QB runs. Teaser. So. And you, I mean, I think it's
that one. Which one was it? Was it Bravo?
It's a nasty
that
one.
Crazy.
Yeah, you took Penix. I know you were pissed about it.
I was. Well, we'll get into it.
Yeah,
I don't
want to side
rail this trade, but I will talk my process on that. I sat on that for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to your QB situation here. No tight end premium. Tight end premium. What it does is it makes the rich richer at tight ends. You see the top tight ends really run away with scoring. So. Trey McBride is certainly valuable, but obviously tight end premium helps. I think it really comes down to like the quarterback situation. Are you sitting on a T-Law, a Stroud, a Tua, like kind of like a bunch of QBs that all are decently startable, but Stroud has the most value? Sure, I'd be okay with moving this, just to say, cool. Now I lock in a stud that I can actually start. But if you're sitting there and you're like, oh, instead of Stroud, I'm going to be rolling out like the mix of, Flacco and Geno, maybe I hold on to the upside of a young dynasty quarterback. I don't really know what to expect from Stroud this year. Changes the O-line. That team's interesting. That defense is going to probably be a top 3, top 5 unit from what I can tell. So they also might not have to score a ton. So I don't necessarily know how this year his outlook looks, but long-term Stroud is certainly a locked-in dynasty top 10 quarterback.
Yeah. I think the no tight end premium half PPR really makes me want to lean into the quarterback, and I'll just take the year and a half or year I have of Mike Evans left. But I think if this is a league that your QB room is strong enough for you to make this kind of move to get cross-positional lead asset and Trey McBride, I'm okay with doing it. And I know it sounds weird. We always preach about like tight ends don't matter in these leagues, but Trey McBride is a wide receiver that you are starting at the tight end position. And in a shallow league, even though we talk about tight ends not mattering, that being whatever, somebody tell me what 1 divided by 9 is, that percentage. It's like 8 point something. Come on, you got the coding background. You can't do 1 divided by 9 off the dome.
I wasn't the math champion. I'm not a quant.
Somebody hit me with the 8 point what percent, but that is a impactful part of your lineup. Actually, wait, that is the wrong way. All right, let's move on to the next question before I expose myself.
1 out of 9 is also not right. Wouldn't it be 1 out of 12?
Well, I'm doing just your.
Or are you saying for
lineup.
your lineup?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The tight end position. Okay. I'm dumb, but I'm not.
Yeah, I mean,
an
I will
idiot.
say the Trey McBride hype as well comes down to this dude was, I think, 5th in the league for overall receptions. Like he was pacing wide receivers. So you're basically locking in a wide receiver.
Massive contract. Yeah. All right, B-Turt's here. Did you guys get that Hunter deal from last week done? Actually, interesting question. We talked about it a little bit. No. So I'm going to put it a little bit on Jeremy, but shout out to myself for pulling the deal off the table when I was a little bit worried about the A-Rich benching, which we just saw happen. But yeah, deal did not happen. We were close. It was good to see the negotiation on the stream, I think.
It was a fun time. I couldn't get over the hump of trading away a play like better players and positional values for tier downs at tight end, and
it was definitely
technically a tier up at quarterback, but it wasn't a tier up that's
that's fair.
Like, I feel like Bryce Young is one of those. I like him. Obviously, I'm a Panthers fan. I got his football back here. I feel like from a dynasty perspective, when you start taking players in the Michael Penix range, the Jackson Dart range, the JJ McCarthy range, the Bryce Young range of price, it's a lot of potential baked in. When I'm looking for a QB2, I don't really want to have to pay the premium of like, oh, I'm trading away the Travis Hunter upside for the Bryce Young upside. That's ultimately what caused me to pause.
That's fair. That's fair. I won't take, but yeah, it's a good end of the stream. Will and Jeremy almost doing a dynasty trade. I'm sure the people appreciate that. Becca,
it'll happen one of these days. We got to keep you coming back.
Yeah, we'll at least send the offers so you can see what it looks like. What do we think about Taylor announcing her new album On New Heights? My follow-up question is, what is the Becca side project, and when are we getting Becca on the Dynasty Daddy Tuesday night trade show to announce her new insert the blank?
Oh, that's true. That is true. We can have her on to announce something.
Let's circle back.
But yeah, I mean, I will say I did watch the beginning of it. I've seen a few episodes of the New Heights album, but I imagined the amount of Taylor Swift fans in my life, I imagine I will have an opinion soon. The orange is rough, I will say. As an NC State fan, it's hard after getting beat by Tennessee and then also losing to Clemson every year. The orange color theme, not my favorite.
Yeah. Coop Cooper here. This is going to be an interesting one, and this is kind of forcing us to talk about some big news. We didn't mention at the top of the show, but the Brian Robinson sounds like more likely than not going to be a Commander week 1. The mutual agreeing for him not to suit up for the preseason game when a lot of the starters were. We've seen the Bill hype, and I want to talk about Bill. And if you don't know who Bill is, that is Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt prefers to be called Bill. So you'll hear Bill in reference or Bill
that came out of nowhere.
I
just remember going on Twitter and everyone's like talking about Bill. And I was like, oh, what's going on here?
I'd like to give respect to, these people that devote their lives to the game and like to be called by certain names. The one tough thing is going to be T-Mac for me. I don't think I can do that. And I really am a name shortener. So it's going to be hard for me to not say Tet. Also, Cokehead. Apparently, Jalen Coker's mom does not like his fans referring to themselves as Cokeheads.
That's not him.
That's fair.
Him.
Yeah.
First, you got to establish yourself, I think.
Yeah, I'll give the quick Bill spiel. Will. And if anyone watched that preseason game, I think the expectation for a lot of people in terms of the hype we've seen around Twitter is that Bill Krosky-Merritt played all the snaps of the starters. He was catching screen passes from Jane Daniels. He did have a touchdown, had a great run, but played the majority of his snaps with the second team and pretty deep into that preseason game, which is to be expected from a rookie running back. But I think it sheds a little bit more light on my expectations for at least the start of the season for the Commanders. We saw Chris Rodriguez kind of get the start, quote unquote. Eckler, obviously not playing. I think we'll see a lot of Chris Rodriguez, Eckler, JCM, Bill, and it wouldn't surprise me if we see some Jeremy McNichols.
What's his name?
Well.
Jeremy Nichols.
Yeah, we'll see some McNichols in there for sure. So yeah, with this trade specifically, this one is, we just talked about one side of the trade, and the other side's Shedeur Sanders. That's another whole conversation talking point with Flacco expected to start week 1. This is an interesting trade. 12 by 11. Are you taking the hype up running back over Shedeur? I think I am, even though I'm probably lower on where the Bill price is right now.
Yeah, I think, and I will Coop with the funny nickname. But I think I agree, just because the upside of a quarterback is a lot better. And it's not like Bill has a ton of, or it's like an empty backfield, right? We just listed off a bunch of other people that could totally step up and take over that backfield, or at least make it 25, 50 or something like that, to where even if you are getting them, it's going to be like, well, it's an undesirable 7 points. It's a Zamir White type of backfield. And you're like, okay, well, like obviously Zamir White was incredibly inefficient, but something along the lines of he's just not giving me enough points to really justify what I'm getting. That being said, if you have a ton of quarterbacks and you're like, I just need to get off of Shadur, I've seen Bill go for seconds on Twitter and stuff. So if people are going that crazy over it, I mean, what's the upside of Shadur? Is you're probably not getting a first, maybe a second at best. If Shadur pops, I do imagine Shadur will start eventually. So I don't know. I mean, if you can get a second for either of them, I would. But trading them positionally, I'm fine with taking the Sanders side.
Okay. It's an
I'll
interesting
also
trade
say
for
I
sure.
know.
Let us know in the chat.
I know. Sean mentioned taking C-Rod over or JCM. I've got to get all the acronyms right, but I do think, I mean, like I picked up Jeremy Nichols in a deep league. Like I'm like,
yeah,
I don't
think
know
that
who's going to be the
whole
guy. It could be anyone.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I assume Eckler is rostered everywhere, but I do think that Chris Rodriguez, especially after the JCM draft pick, the Bill pick, I got to stop myself from doing the double names. I get self-conscious about doing the wrong name thing. But yeah, I think.
But then I'm like, should I be doing BCM or something instead of
BCM? I think JCM. Yeah, no, I'm gonna do some research tonight, guys. Next Tuesday, or not next Tuesday. What about Thursday night on the Best Ball Draft Show? We are back. Episode 8, the Lamar episode. We're getting
the
close
Lamar
to
episode. That's a good one.
No more Best Ball Draft streams coming up here, guys. The season is almost upon us. Come find out where JCM Bill will go. I've seen him go as early as like pick 80, which is crazy. But hey, man, you got to find the next Bucky Irving or something, right?
Just wait till you record one of these episodes and then you win it all and then you just retire.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I guess there's not really a Bill running back that you'd be referring to. Any Bills? I don't think so. Except for the Buffalo Bills. All right. I told myself we'd lock in so we could get to the startups. So let's stop doing first name running back analysis and pull up this one here from Sports Pulse.
What about middle names?
I got a good middle name trivia for me. We can do it on the Thursday night stream. That's a Thursday night thing.
Okay. Yeah, that's a Will After Dark.
Yeah. Yo, fellas, have a CMC offer on a rebuild. 12x10, Superflex, 4-point passing. It is CMC and the 26-201. Okay, so this team is terrible. If we're penciling that in. Or Jackson Dart and a 26 mid to late first. Do you prefer?
Damn.
Ooh, do you prefer like the crappy 26 or the mid second, knowing the strength of 27 class? I'm taking whatever the earliest pick is, because when you start pushing yourself multiple years out, I mean, you can look at a roster and say, oh, I think this will probably be, the third or fourth best team. But especially when you start talking mid, that is one spot away from that team making the playoffs. And then you're already pushing towards the back half. So yeah, if the team is bad, especially for the next year, I'm definitely taking that earlier one to get that out of the way. But yeah, what are you taking here? CMC and the early 26 pick, or Jackson Dart and a mid to late first?
Okay, I think this is good value, especially on a rebuilding team. These are the types of deals that it hurts to make, because you're like, oh, maybe I don't know how much better you're going to get, unless if it's like week 8 and CMC's dropping 30 points per game or something crazy and is completely healthy. Maybe a contender will give you a better offer than that. But you're essentially walking away with 2 first-round picks, borderline, and the Dart hype. You might be a Dart head. So some people are hyping them up a little bit.
Yeah.
So to me, I mean, I think that's a good value on a rebuild. Would I prefer to get rid of my 27 second instead of the 201? Yeah, I would. But I think if you nickel and dime too much, you're going to miss out. You're going to scare people away from.
Yeah,
I'm getting the big value pieces of that mid to late first of a Jackson Dart, which is essentially a late first this year.
Yeah, and honestly, I like this trade even not a rebuild. If you were just like, this seems like pretty good value. But yeah, with the context of on a rebuild, anytime you can get out on these elder statesman running backs and you're getting a first, like it'd be tough if you were like CMC for Dart straight up and like you get a third or something and be like, yeah, I get it. You kind of like you got to do moves like that on a rebuild. But this is like, that is fine enough value to take that. I like that side. All right, we've got here we go. AJ Lee What is up? 12-team Superflex PPR. Would you trade Fields and Sharps and Pop Douglas for Brees in a 26 first? Is this an easy buy low, sell high on Brees and Sharps, or is the real concern with the Jets? RBBC. I'm gonna answer that last question as the Brees believer. There is concern, and we'll take a look at where he went at this startup, but it was not in the 4th round. I will say. I got the board over here. I'm looking at the Alpha Daddy startup, but 12 team. Do we know the starters?
12 team. So you get Fields, Sharps, and Pop Douglas for Brees in a first.
I'm taking Brees in a first for sure.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I think I'm spooked about the situation as well, but I think if it gets really bad, Brees is just going to be like
last year,
demand a trade. Like, I will say, we all like B-Rob. He made an incredible entrance, probably the best entrance after getting shot. But let's not act like Brees Hall demands a trade. Like, if B-Rob can get traded, demand a trade, and actually get traded, someone will definitely take a shot on Brees. Brees is certainly a higher upside running back, and he's good when he's healthy. So if you're saying, hey, give me the best player in the package and you want a first, I'm definitely taking that side.
Yeah, and it's Fields. If I saw Fields and Sharps go for a first, I'd be like, well, it's a pretty good, like, you're getting a piece with Fields if you're sending away a first for him. That's pretty fair. It's decent. And yeah, you're getting feels almost like a free Brees, even though everyone's spooked on him. So yeah, I like that. All right, 12-team, start 10, 1 QB, PPR. We've got the league info. Currently have this offer on the table. Give Terry, Henderson, and Monungai for Rashee Rice, Jordan Addison, and Jaden Higgins. Ooh, this is an interesting one. We got the suspension boys packaged, and then we've got the hype beast running backs and Terry. 12-team, start 10, single quarterback. Team start 10. I actually kind of do. I will say
my RB room is deep. And my wide receiver room needs help. I'm reluctant because the Rice suspension is looming and Henderson has looked great. Also, I'm not sure where Addison looks like with JJ McCarthy. What do y'all think? It's a 10-team Superflex PPR.
12 by 10.
Oh yeah, it's a different one. Say purple icons. I got it mixed up. Yeah. Okay. That is interesting. Because you're basically like, give me back 2 high upside younger receivers. Yeah. I give away the Henderson hype.
Yeah, and I like
I feel
this.
Like I would take that though.
Yeah, I think
I feel like I would take
that with the RB room feeling deep, like losing out on like the hype. I love Henderson too, but equally love Rice. So yeah, I think Terry, and like I don't want to like say that like Higgins is nothing either. Second round receiver.
Yeah, I mean Higgins has a decent chance of hitting, and then you already got 2 guys that are probably decent. And sure, you miss, first 4 to 6 weeks might stink, but given that is a start 10, 1 QB league, you got to start 9 running backs, tight ends, wide receivers. Rice and Addison, when they're back, are going to be very startable. And you also got the Stevenson aspect. Like, I think Henderson will certainly be good, but I don't think it's just going to be Henderson 90% of the snaps. It might be like they keep saying like, oh, he might be Jahmyr Gibbs and Monty. Yeah. But, I mean, they are both in a very efficient, high-powered offense. So
one of the better offensive lines in the league.
Yeah. We also haven't seen a Vrabel offense really support 2 running backs. Not that matters, but I don't know if it's going to be the same type of up-tempo offense of like the Lions.
10-team Superflex PPR. Given the Brian Robinson news, what do you think of sending off Penix? So this is for additional context, QB 3-4 for someone like James Cook to be my RB2. So I'm assuming you have Brian Robinson. You were kind of locking that in for your RB2 spot.
Yeah.
I will say I'm like totally fine. Cook is a contract there. We're not big Cook people, but I like the someone like targeting that kind of range of running backs. Yeah, I'd be totally fine to do that. What I was going to say is, I know I just talked last week about how point scoring season is upon us, but I don't anticipate Brian Robinson being on this roster week 1. And I don't think, so it's the last year of the rookie deal, I believe. And I don't think they just straight up cut him. So I think like this leak getting out there is like, we please give us some sort of late round pick swap to get this running back that we kind of want to cut, but it would be really dumb for us to just cut him because there's something going on behind the scenes. I don't know if there's some like early contract talks that were not going well or role frustrations, but yeah, would you hold out, or are you fine doing this kind of move for that range of running backs?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm okay doing that. I'm a little hesitant on like, and I'm curious because you mentioned 3-4 QBs. Like, I wonder what your fourth QB is. Like, if it's like a Stafford or someone that is kind of a known player. I'm a little hesitant because like Penix could just go in there and they could just throw the ball like 100 times, and then you're like, man, I just traded Penix for like an RB, low end RB1 type guy, at best. So I get a little concerned with that, but ultimately like it's need over need, and like, are you starting Penix? No. Can I bolster my RB room if Brian Robinson's already breaking your team's back in week 0 because he might get traded and we don't know if he's going to sit out week 1? Then sure. I mean, I think James Cook is definitely going to be a better player, and maybe you could go after like other players in that range, like Breeze says he's falling or something like that. Like, there might be other players.
Some people aren't Chase Brown believers.
Chase Brown's another good example. Like, there's kind of these guys, Kyron even. You can kind of get by some of these guys that aren't that true upper echelon running back, but still provide that safe kind of low end RB1 floor.
Yeah. Other QBs are Caleb Williams, Drake May, and T-Law for context. I mean, yeah, this is, I will say I almost, when I see that crazy of a QB room, like in terms of just, you feel like you have locked in starters for handful of seasons, I'm totally fine just instantly doing that kind of move. Just because like we can kind of we can haggle back and forth about like the value of, quarterback versus running backs in certain ranges that we like, but at the end of the day, like the plus EV that you get from moving off of a fourth quarterback that will never matter for you this season to slot in a running back that is going to be hitting your lineup every single week, like when that is the context, boom, go for it. Even if you feel like you're moderately losing to get that kind of deal done, I'm doing that.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's like, oh, I lost on the trade calculator, but team roster construction,
but it's super flex.
Better.
It's super flex.
It's super. Every quarterback's valuable.
Ooh, I'm excited to talk about these QB runs, but I gotta hit.
Got a question.
I
got a question.
I'm dodging that question.
I know this is your thing, but it was specifically called out you.
I got sniped. I did get sniped. We will. Spoiler warning. I was going to take Ibuka at the 5-3. I said it. I was going to do it in the startup. And he went at the 5-2.
Ouch.
Straight up. But it's okay. We are
we'll dig
like
into
water.
We'll dig into that later.
We adapt. We are forever flowing. And we'll touch on that. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to talking about.
And he just sent a trade.
Dude, I will say, the next pick I took, I'm gonna leak it. I took Cam Ward. We are at the 5-11. I've had 2 people later in the 5th reach out to me and say, "What can I trade you for Cam Ward?" How great does that feel in a startup when you take a player and you have 2 people reach out to you like,
everyone,
yo, how can I get that? I should do that with Ibuka actually. Actually, it was the Ibuka guy. It was funny. We'll take a look at it. I know, Gator. I did get sniped, but you also want Cam Ward. So who really got sniped? You sniped yourself. What's up, Juan Pena? Had the 10th pick, so I had back-to-back picks, so it took longer for me to get to the picks I wanted, but everyone took advantage. I wonder if this is in context to a startup. Let me know, Juan. And this may be my own stupidity, but
I assume so. It would be a 10 by.
So I'm in
10 teamer.
Well, is it in our startup? Is this the Bravo? That's the 10 spot. We'll let us know. This could be me. This could be a user error. Yo, how y'all doing? I got offered Puka, Genty, and Dak for JT, Bucky, and Mahomes. I have both CD and Rashi. Full PPR with Pollard and Harvey in the flex. Puka, Genty, and Dak. JT.
For JT,
Bucky, and Mahomes. Ooh, I'm taking the Puka, Genty, Dak side.
Yeah, I think that is
And I
I
like
think that's pretty
Mahomes.
easy.
I like Mahomes at his value, but I don't think the discrepancy between him and Dak should be as large as it is.
Yeah, I mean that Dak is definitely getting pushed down. Mahomes is probably getting pushed down a little too much because
Yeah.
like we've seen that offense evolve, and we know that he could certainly sustain a high-powered scoring fantasy season. That being said, JT versus Gene T, you're definitely going Gene T. Bucky versus Puka, you're definitely going Puka. So it's it's like I definitely think you're just tearing up at two of the most exciting young players you could possibly get, Gene T and Puka.
All right, we've got thanks fellas. Thank you. Can't have it all. No, you cannot. Well, maybe if you give me a first and a later pick.
Uh-oh.
Lucas
Meg
here.
Booga.
We're gonna hit this Lucas one, and then we are going to pull up the startup boards to take a look at these Dynasty Daddy startups we have. Lucas here. What is up? 12 team Superflex half PPR. You have a young team and 426 first. Considering trading some first to go for it. JD5, Caleb, Kyler, Penix, Hendy, Harvey, Caleb, JSN, Marv, Addison, Golden Bowers. Dude, this team is crazy. You have 426 first with this team. JD5, Caleb, Kyler, Penix, Henderson, Harvey, Caleb, JSN, Marv, Addison. I would be curious the starters. I assume like if you like what your receiver situation is after Golden, with the Addison suspension and stuff.
This trade reminds me of
Start 10.
the trade that we had earlier with Penix. I mean, isn't this a great place to just be like, hey, maybe I just try to trade Penix for
12 by 10.
Christian McCaffrey or, Jacobs or, just like give me a running back, some of that's going to crush that can just slot in here. Because that's honestly the biggest concern I have is Hindy, Harvey are both rookies. It might take a couple of weeks, a couple of years.
I'm getting a little. How spooked are you on Caleb? We didn't touch on Caleb. I'm getting a little spooked.
It's not looking that great. I'm a little spooked.
Like I think the spooked isn't necessarily like a spooked. He's cooked. Get him off my rosters, but it's definitely a spooked for sure for this year. Like I think some rookies have situations where like I think Henderson is putting himself in a good position to like be in a timeshare, but to hit the ground running, like to be the third down guy to get a bunch of high value touches. And I think Caleb felt like he had the runway to hit the ground running and have the Najee roll from the jump. And it feels like it's going to be more 60-40 the other way, with Jalen Warren. And Kenneth Gainwell's there too, who's, whatever, but he is an NFL running back.
Yeah, he's a guy. But yeah, I mean, I think really what I would look for is like, I don't necessarily think I have to move my first round picks moment.
This is decent.
Maybe if I take a first, and like try to pair it to like a golden and go up a tier, just get like a locked in dude, or like a first on Addison. I know he's suspended, but I think the biggest need is like, can I just backfill like using a Penix or using a first, and just lock in some sort of vet production that I can expect as my rookies kind of marinate, start to actually fit in with their offense. Because even Hindy with all his flashes, it's not like he's walking in and going to get. I mean, we saw it with Bijan. Everyone's like hyping Bijan up. Bijan didn't come out and demand 80% of the rush share right out of the gate. It took some time for him to get acquainted with the offense. So I would want to have some cheaper options that are probably just going to be decent. Like the Aaron Joneses or those types of guys. I think those are the types I would really target.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I mean, it might be kind of funky to formulate this, but you have a very young receiver room, and even these bench receivers too. We're looking at Trey Harris, Torrey Horton, Tyquan Thornton. We got Roman Wilson. I like Rashid and Reed. So I Rashid Shaheed and Reed. I think those are guys you would be fine to plug in if they're playing week 1. But yeah, I wouldn't mind doing some kind of like. You'd want to get good value back for it, but I wouldn't do multiple. I wouldn't use 2 or 3 first to make this happen. But if you took Penix and a first and tried to find yourself into like ultra productive receiver and running back that you could, and both don't need to be young, crazy dynasty assets. I would like one of them to be like specifically if I can get, like we were talking about, one of those younger depressed value running backs like a Chase Brown or Kyron or whatever, plus, maybe not as old as Mike Evans, but that kind of range of receiver to be able to plug into with how young that.
How high do you think, like a T Higgins and DeAndre Swift?
I'd almost rather swap just with like how young the. I guess it's fine.
Or
Yeah.
like AJ Brown and Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah, I would do gross running back to get up to AJ Brown.
Ooh, Chase Brown is on the block.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah.
think honestly you could probably just do around like a Penix straight up, or like a mid to late
If
first straight up,
if a
and
Penix
make
in a
that
first
happen.
can give me like a Chase Brown and like a fun good receiver that has like some
Like a
dynasty
DJ
outlook,
Moore,
that's probably the range that it would have to be. Like you probably could go much
Devontae
higher than that.
Adams, Sutton would be a good one
Yeah.
because he's pretty cheap.
Chase Brown and Debo is interesting.
Evans, Hills.
I don't know if I'd want to tack a
Mm.
first onto Penix to do that. I would want to get a kickback, but I will say, hey, we didn't even talk about it. But
Do you have a
Debo,
second? You have a second?
right? Yeah, Debo got to end around in the preseason game with the starters, so that might be part of the answer. We talk about the gross running back committee. What if it's just 6 carries for Debo that are all goofy and
He's
funny?
beating the chubby allegations.
All right, we've got one question here. Gator, we're gonna hit this one, and then actually we got your startup first. We're gonna start with Alpha Daddy. It's my weirdest one I've had so far, so that'll be fun to talk about. Baker, Saquon, CD, Amon-Ra, Egbuka. Should I trade a future first and a late pick in the startup for Cam Ward? Yeah, could you send me the link to that? That would be a great one to take a look at. Oh, perfect.
A natural segue.
Perfect. All right, so this is dude, I will say, I get goofy. I trade around a decent amount. Actually, I haven't traded around much this one. I did get it first, though. But you guys with your sticking and picking, these teams are looking pretty fun. So we can talk about Seth's team here, what he's looking to do with this question specifically, and then we could talk about the startups a little bit. And we'll pause to go through some of these questions that are coming through still.
Yeah, I think we should sprinkle, since we have 3 of them, we could
Yeah.
like sprinkle the startups throughout the thing.
Like real quick, let's hit these ones that I can still see. Which side? Tyreek and Kamara or Scatabo, Jaden Higgins, Brian Robinson, a second and 28 first. First and a second. It's B-Rob. I'd be curious how many starters. Man, could it be a different? I could see myself doing this, even though I don't want to. I would want to be buying a different receiver than going Tyreek and Kamara, but
I think this is
B-Rob,
one of those
Higgins.
ones like it's similar to like the trade much earlier in our stream. If you are a rebuilder, it hurts because
Yeah.
Hill, Kamara, but this is a perfect package. Like, are you getting a first for Tyreek or Kamara straight up? Maybe Tyreek, but then you add in a second, you add in B-Rob, you add in Higgins, you add in Scattaboo. All you need is one of those to really hit to win the steal, and you can bag that future flexibility. So, I mean, it's something where it's like I guess this is a rebuilder. This is like a rebuilder trade. I don't know why if you're top 3 in the league, you would be trading away Tyreek or Kamara. But I think you just got to go package, even though it's like it's hard. It's hard to look at, I guess, in some ways, because there's so much speculation built into all those pieces.
Yeah, I think this is something I could see myself pushing myself to do. But what's nice about getting, I mean, it is in 2028. That is 100 years away. But a first and a second, and you get two rookie bets alongside it too. Like a first and a second will buy you the Kamara plus, probably less than Tyreek, but Kamara plus old receiver that might produce for a year or two next season, So like if it makes sense for your team to do this, I'm fine doing it.
Scattaboo and Higgins are basically second round picks. So you get 2 seconds this year, get Brian Robinson, which is like a second and a third, and then long term second and a first. So there's a lot of flexibility there. Only thing is, like, make sure that your league's not going to fold in 2028.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go here. I will say that this trade that Gator has put up here is definitely one that my team would be interested in. I'm gonna do for the sake of the content and for the people, for the community. I will spill my brain and my heart and my soul and my plan for the startup, especially this one.
The inside scoop.
I'm hanging on by the seat of my pants. I have never in my life started 2 tight ends. I barely start one tight end unless it's like Trey McBride late in the second.
I know that's.
But I thought it'd be fun.
You were feeling spicy.
I thought it would be at least fun to talk about, like, what is the plan to take this advantage I have and like punt a year and turn it into something cool in the future. And the punt wasn't necessarily a part of the plan when I took 2 tight ends. And I still am going to try to
That's how you
compete.
justify it.
Yeah, that's how you justify it. If you leave your startup with a first, it doesn't matter how shitty your team looks. You have future draft capital. Yeah, so right here, started Bowers McBride because I thought it would be funny. It's 0.75 tight end premium. Not start 2 tight end. This is not like the best ball league, so it is a flex. But ended up getting a first. Traded this 4-10 pick back to the 6-12, and then I moved back from the 10-10 to the 11-1 here to get a first round pick. So I have Bowers McBride, Herbert Ward, and a first. I've got 3 picks coming up here at the tail end of the 6th. But this trade here that Seth is looking to, and this is not the league that had the crazy QB run, but I could see Seth just looking at the options for what he's going to see coming back around. And, you know, we'll probably see Goff and Dak go, I would assume. But, you know, you never know for sure. You have 2 QBs. This guy has 2 QBs. B Turt's here.
That part is definitely a tough turn, right? Like the 4-5 turn. Because that's
0.
like your last, it's the last chopper out of QB land where it's like, you know, all the good, decent quarterbacks with high upside are probably going to be gone. And you're going to be picking from the Darnolds and the Genos if you wait. Yeah.
This CMI here had traded and has the 6-1 and 6-9 before Seth's next pick and has no quarterbacks. It started three receivers in Laporta. So you'd assume, I would say for sure one of these is a quarterback, and probably he rips one right here. I assume depending on who Murr goes, he's probably taking Goff or Dak. And then it could even potentially, this could be, you know, Bryce if he's here. I could see him taking Fields. The thing is, like, quarterback feels spooky once you get down to this Tua, Darnold, A-Rich, Geno range, but like there's a couple of these guys that I would be okay with my QB2 out of a startup.
Flacco?
Joe Flacco. Yeah, you got some names you can plug in there. Pick up Jimmy Garoppolo in the last round, yeah. But no, I like Cam Ward. This isn't even a QB run conversation that I'm trying to like gas up getting this trade to happen. I think Cam Ward looked really good. I'm a big QB school guy. If you ever watch those YouTube video breakdowns, I watch those for all the rookie quarterbacks. Recommend those videos. Those are great. I think he looks good. I'm a Calvin Ridley guy too. But
I wasn't sold on Cam Ward until you took him in Alpha Daddy. That changed everything.
Yeah. It's funny because I passed over him to take T-Law and JJ McCarthy in the other league, but that was a little bit more of a stack thing. I took BTJ in the first round in the second round for that one. So right here, real quick, and then we can move on. We can take a look at this Darren question here. I see you posted a team here. We'll take a look at before going into the next startup. But if I'm getting, this is the question for you. Okay. So my 5-3 pick here, I'm trading to Seth. I'm not actually doing this for sure because I like Cam Ward. I'm totally fine holding them. But trading Cam Ward to get a first, and what round pick would you do if you were Gator here? So you see Cam Ward go off the board. Dang, I was going to try to trade for him. I wonder if I could still get him. Let me grab my 26 first. And with a great team, I mean, CD, Amon-Ra, Barkley, Mayfield. If you're getting Ward, you've got, you know, the second quarterback spot locked in. You got Ibuka as well, who is going to smash this year. Mark my words. You know, pretty good team. What
yeah,
pick?
I mean, I think
it is tough at this range. Moving first, like how far you have to go back.
I mean, I think it starts getting hard when you put names to the ranges. And I think once you're looking towards late 6th round, 7th round, we're probably going to be looking in ranges of like DK Metcalf, Olave, Jackson Dart. It's like, okay, Dart in the first for
right.
Ward. It's like I I think it's probably fair, but it's not like a slam where it's like I have to take a deal like that. But I think realistically, you're probably looking, I think like a seventh. Like if you did the 7th round pick, I think that would be probably where I'd be looking at it if I wanted to move up. Because in that range, you're really starting to get to T.J. Hawkinson, Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison. We kind of know what they are, which isn't a bad thing. Like they're productive guys, but they're not most likely league breakers unless they're like old. You might be able to get like a Terry McLaurin, Tyreek Hill, but those players are falling so late because they're old.
Yeah,
and they don't have the long-term outlook.
And this is a great, obviously this is the Dynasty Daddy trade show. We're gonna pull up Dynasty Daddy, take a look at the mock draft ADP. But for I see another question. We'll roll through with that in a second. But yeah, I think to me, I think this is what you have to do. I get a lot of questions of like, hey, is this startup trade fair? I plugged it into a startup trade calculator. I'm trying to look at it, but I really think like getting a picture, seeing how the draft has gone up to that point, and then kind of looking at the rest of the board is like the best way to look at ranges. And it's not going to be perfect, and you have to kind of adjust it from what you've seen. So in this other draft, there was a huge QB run, and we'll take a look at that in a little bit. But so you have to really push up the quarterbacks you see later, and that allows you to push down other positions too. Like we were talking about the QBs versus the wide receivers, and it's like, oh, people are going to get some good wide receiver values. And then you now get to look later in the draft and say like, oh, okay, maybe this range, in the 9th, this downs range will be available at the start of the 10th. So when I'm thinking about my startup trades, I can kind of, work around that when I'm planning of how I'm building my roster. But
you got to be able to move up and down and kind of adjust with like, it's one of those things where it's like you can look at trade values and those are great, but they do not factor in each, little nuance and how people like to build their teams. Or if Will's just like, I'm going double tight end and figure it out. Like that does impact how the tight ends will be valued, how the rest of the league will, respond to those things. So that's one reason it's interesting with startup drafts. It's easier. Like shout outs to Big Diaz earlier, who said he spent all his money in an auction draft. You can certainly mess up your team in auction pretty easily, but you can also do that as well. Trying to get creative with the trade ups and trade downs, you got to make sure you don't overreact. Yeah, sometimes it's better just to not react. Yeah. Just be like, okay, I can make picks and I can figure out the trades later.
Definitely. All right, we will head back to knock out some of these questions before we get into the next board. We're going to take a look at the other lineup league. I see one up here.
Is my team in here?
Your team sucks, bro. So I guess we'll hit your team. We'll hit your team when we get into the next one. You got bro, no trades, you get no screen time. No, your team is good. I like
Okay, that's fair.
Todd, I think I had one trade in that one. Todd P, 1 PPR, pick 1 keeper, unsure draft order, Chase first round versus Hubbard 11th round. I would need some additional context, Todd, if you're still in the chat here. Do you still get a first round pick now? And are most first round players available if you don't keep Chase? Because I would take Hubbard then and just love Jamar Chase, but the value of Hubbard in the 11th round,
I assume,
and still getting a first round pick, that is for sure what I would do. So yeah, let me know if I'm misunderstanding.
You take Hubbard and
Chase is awesome,
Hubbard just because Chase is going in the first anyway.
Yeah, and so is there. And I assume a lot of people aren't going to keep the first round pick players because they're going to do the same thing you're doing and taking the value pick. So you're still going to have Chase is still going to be there. Obviously, you're probably going to have JJ, CD, all those guys that were first last year, Bijan, are still going to be first this year. So yeah, I would just do that. Don't lose your first round pick for Chase when you get the Hubbard value.
That's crazy to say.
Come on, don't keep Chase. You need to keep that.
Yeah, why would you?
Hey, I will say, and this isn't even a pro Hubbard thing. This is the Rico Dowdle, Will's most drafted underdog running back, mostly because of where he goes.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not sending out seconds for Rico Dowdle in my dynasty leagues.
I'm gonna pick him in the 6th round and trade him for Cam Ward.
Oh shoot, my secrets. I leaked. I told you I'd spill my heart. All right, I see Darren. I'm gonna hit yours, but I'm gonna pull up the league so we can pull that up and take a look at it for you. So I'm gonna hit these quick ones.
We'll do Darren right.
Should have listened to Jeremy and just not bid for the entire first day. It's tough, dude.
Big
you see those players flying off the board?
I tell you, I literally think the best strategy in auction is probably just sit on your hands for the first 10 to 20 picks. And it's not like, even if
All
your
the good
favorite players are
go.
going, like all the good players go, like I just think like if everyone has $100 and then by the end of 10 picks, only 5 people have $100, then all of a sudden that money's worth so much more. And then you can start really, throwing your weight around and dominating your leagues. Because I've been exactly in those shoes before, where I'm like, okay, I'm going to do my homework. I'm going to know what I need to do with the auction. Auction comes, Justin Jefferson's there, and I'm like, yeah, he's worth 25% of my auction, startup. And then at the end, I'm bidding $1 on Daniel Jones because I need a QB2. I don't want to be in that spot. It's something where it's so easy to burn through so much of that money.
Hey,
even if you're savvy.
That's starting Colts quarterback Daniel Jones you're talking about. All right, watch your mouth. That's a $3 bid at least.
Don't remind me.
No.
The $1 bid on Josh Palmer. Oh, we're getting desperate. It's going bad.
Josh Palmer. Okay, every year Will has a most drafted underdog receiver that he believes the hype that's not there on. And Josh Palmer is it this year. It was Curtis Samuel last year. It's been Pop Douglas for the past 2 seasons.
This year it's going to happen, right?
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
I think you should get one of the the Browns, that famous Browns jersey with all the names, and just put all the names of all the receivers for each year.
I got to do both sides.
This year it's Josh Palmer.
I got to get Rico Dowdle on there. Who was the running back last year?
Paris Campbell.
Jeez. All right. Would you trade Breece Hall and a lot of Pop Douglas tonight and Demario Douglas for Jonathan Taylor? My team's competing this year, looking to find a more stable RB1. Yeah, unfortunately, I probably am.
You're trading Breece Hall? That just feels wrong because Bruce is supposed to be the next great one, but
I think it is. Here's what it is. It's a combo. It is. It's not necessarily even I think Breece sucks and I gotta get him off my rosters. But it is expectations for this year at the running back position. JT, I think in terms of start. Let's do this right now. We're doing it live, okay?
Oh boy, I have no idea. MS Paint's coming on screen.
Take a look at this. I'm drawing a picture of Breece Hall right now in MS Paint. No, guys. Yeah, I need to do a little. I need to give you a sign when it's give me. I need you to stall so I can pull up the stats screen because I just get excited.
We're still working out the. It does look good. It's good. It's good when it's up there.
Yeah. So we got JT right here. You see RB9 on underdog. He's going late second. And I think Daniel Jones is a positive. When you look at the running back check down rates, our running back target rates between A-Rich and Daniel Jones. Talk about the red zone rushes, touchdowns. And I don't think they're going to use A-Rich as I don't know. Do you feel that'd be kind of demeaning to bring him in on 3rd and 5 and it's he's going to do a zone read with JT? Doesn't that feel kind of demeaning? You don't think they're going to do that?
I don't think they're going to do that.
I don't think so.
I do think we will see Anthony Richardson personally.
Yeah, I agree.
Might be me holding onto hope. I think what they're trying to do is the poor man's Bryce Young, where they bench him and they say, okay, if it's going to happen, you need to settle down for a couple games, get into a rhythm, and then we stick him out there. Because he also missed part of a training camp and all that with that shoulder injury. But I feel decent about Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor's the least inspiring RB1 season. That one year where he was RB1, it's you're almost there, but you're not putting up those crazy McCaffrey, Barkley seasons that make you feel amazing about it. That being said, if you're really desperate, it's probably a decent move. I'm still not out on Breece. I'm not. To me, I'm he's probably still going to be fine. Or if he's traded, then he's probably going to be an RB1 in a decent situation.
Yeah. I think Breece is. People talk about running backs that can do wide receiver things. I think Breece is one of those guys. Maybe not as twitchy of a route runner as Jahmyr Gibbs or whatever, but I think he is legit. the tough thing is expectations for this year for me, and it's really, I think, more of the league format. Like if the Pop Douglas bet for this season and next is like worth it for your roster, like that will matter and impact you if he does hit and is a, the New England offense is looking better and he's getting 5,
the Darnell
6, 7
Mooney of
targets
this
a game.
year.
Right. Like if that hit matters to you, I'm all for it. Take that side. But it's more of the, RB bet for this season. I'd be willing to do that kind of move if it's, shallower. I don't know. Am I capitulating too hard on this Breece Hall thing? Do you think I'm self-conscious about how in I am on the prospect and post-injury
Episode
recovery?
1, man. Episode 1. You were
if this wasn't green,
banging the Breece drum.
If this screen was like cowboy themed colored or any other team in the NFL, I think I would be back in on Breece.
That's the thing with Breece is like he can get traded to pretty much 28 other teams, and I think everyone would say that's a better situation. Yeah. It's the Jets. Like no one trusts the Jets at this point. So I don't hate doing it, but I also think for me, I'd be like, maybe you can't just take DeMario Douglas and get like like a Jalen Warren, or just give me a little bit of extra depth if the Breece situation takes a couple weeks to figure
you're
out.
Right. You know what? You talked me out.
I don't want to overreact on the Breece.
You're talking me off the ledge. I appreciate it.
Come back over to the Breece Hall Island.
Come watch some Cyclones highlights. Some Breece Hall college tape.
Well, it's bad when you're still watching college highlights. No joke. That's what I was doing. Bryce Young season 2. I was like, where did this go? Yeah. And he turned it around, but it's bad when the highlight videos are watch him throw against Bama.
Yeah.
Or on Bama.
I practice on Bama. Do you keep Josh Allen or Derrick Henry in a keeper league? I feel like I need to know the like keeper rule context. Is it just for once like this next upcoming season? If that's the case, and it's just like a normal redraft type beat, I'm probably keeping Derrick Henry. Not knowing any other intel, but if it's anything longer term than just this season, even with the Henry contract, I could definitely be swayed into keeping Josh Allen. Let us know if there's
without the info, it's hard to tell. If it's super flex, give me Josh Allen probably, just because. But if it's a super flex league, you probably took him in the first round, so Derrick Henry is probably the value based on ADP last year.
Can you confirm or deny that you Darnell Mooney'd Boner Goku 421s? The people need to know. This
is like when I hang out with like it's Thanksgiving and like the nephews are there or whatever, and they're saying a bunch of words you have no idea what it means. That's what this feels like. I'm like, I don't.
Sounds
I'm
like
scared to say yes or no.
Guys, I think he's stalling.
I'm scared to say yes or no.
I think he did. What up, Bryant? I'm a competitor and swapped to Breece Hall for James Conner in 26 first. The first on a highly volatile team, so it could be early or late. That is interesting. Is it just like a super? You think it's like Kelsey and all those old vets that like maybe this is the year they fall off a cliff?
Yeah, it's got to be like a frisky team, but you look at it and it's like
it's got Breece Hall on it. So yeah, that is volatile. You're right. After this trade, do you think it's decent value wise? Let's call it a mid. Would you take? Would you trade?
Just a random first. It's probably not going to be early. That would be my guess. But
yeah, I get the 26 class fear stuff. And it's not perfect to compare current year's draft classes and expectations to future years, but I do think it's fair in conversations to think like, James Conner and, Igbuka and RJ Harvey and Colston Loveland. Would you do that for Breece Hall? And
yeah, I mean, I think, I think I'd probably take the first side here.
Yeah, me too.
Uh-oh.
Next question, please. We have to hit Darren's.
It's hurt.
We stalled deep. We stalled too far. Also, do we think Will can scoop this up? Okay, I did find it.
I'll read some comments while you're pulling that up.
There we go.
Brent said, yeah, letting go of Pop does hurt.
We're doing this.
And if Breece gets traded, I think I'd instantly lose the deal. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was kind of hinting at. It's like
he's young, man.
Almost every situation about Breece. Same thing with A-Rich. Just putting out there, he's 23, I think. So There's still a lot of room for him.
Yeah, he got benched for Daniel
I think he'll
Jones.
kind of have a
So.
Fields. That's true. I think he's. I'm
And
much more
Joe
optimistic about
Flacco.
Bruce.
Yeah, it's tough.
But I mean, it's
Yeah.
a Justin Fields thing. You know, Justin Fields got benched for Russ and now got a 2-year contract. Not saying that that's going to happen, but
Sorry, I just pulled up
what's happening?
Sorry, I just pulled up this team and he has 1,000 firsts.
Oh my gosh. I
Um,
thought you hit like stop streaming or like someone like rated us or something.
I'm like showing naked. Never mind. Okay, let's.
Oh boy. That
Sorry,
work party's carrying over.
It
He
really
got the
is.
hangover.
It really is. This is usually the best ball will. This is best ball draft will. If you want best ball draft will, late night. come see me Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. All right, so this is the team here. 12-team half PPR. Some IDP in there too. We got the team here: Williams, Penix, and Darnold, Genty, Cook, Swift, Tracy, ETN as well, DJ Giddens, Rashid Rice, Devonta Smith, DK Metcalf, Josh Downs, Besh and Tillman, Sam Laporta, Benson, Theo Johnson. 426 firsts, 627 firsts. Preseason trades or hold these picks. So it's a single quarterback league. I mean, this is a fine week 1 starting roster.
Yeah, that takes up the whole screen with all those picks.
I think those picks are like I would be, you have so many picks, I'd be fine blowing it once you need it, you know? Like let's say like Swift, for some reason Monungai gets 80% of the work. Like I'm just throwing out these ridiculous situations, but you know, DK gets hurt or something. You know, bye weeks are starting to hit. Then you can push those in, but I don't think you need to do that right now.
I will say too, this is certainly a very shallow league, right? We're looking at a 12-team start 8, 1 QB league. So it's going to really make those late first kind of like seconds in a super flex league.
Yeah.
So if I could take those like a late first and say maybe tear up off of a DK, off of a Smith.
Can we get Lamar? Can we get Lamar from this Trust the Process team, please? Just send him a DM.
Honestly, that you could probably.
How many firsts?
You could probably just overload them. Yeah, like how many firsts? Like I would. This is what I would say. Like these teams that are like bad, right? The Lamar Jackson team, the team. I'm trying to see what other.
Yeah, this team
Honestly,
has.
There's not too many terrible teams, but like
this one just jumped out to me. When I have a ton of firsts, I just filter to the worst starting team that I think could be convinced to tank based off of their lineup. And I mean, this guy's RB1 is Brian Robinson, who is refusing to play for his team right now.
He's got Keaton Mitchell though. He's coming up.
Right.
He's on the come up.
Ramondre, he's really banking on that split work. Yeah, I mean, this is like, it is Lamar, and I get it. You're gonna have to pay the price, but you have the first to pay the price, and that's a huge like difference maker. I mean, it's not super flex, so it feels weird to pay up for a quarterback, but Lamar is impacting your lineup so hard. We just did the breakdown of what Trey McBride does for start 9 in single quarterback shell league. Lamar is doing marvelous things.
And I will say too, if you know you got an early first, I would just hold it, because in a shallow league like this, it's going to be really hard to consolidate. A lot of people kind of know, hey, I want the best player. And in a sense, when you play in a shallow league like this, it's not even a ton about Dynasty, right? It's basically a redraft league to some extent. Because I don't care if Garrett Wilson's good or Devonta Smith is young. I'm only starting 8 players a week. Like, I need the best players. Yeah. So for me, I would be saying, is there a way I can just consolidate some of these players? If I can't, holding those early first is the cheapest you're ever going to get high-end consolidated players in a format like this. Once everyone catches on, some people are going to not be able to catch on and be like, oh, sure, like I'm getting all these picks. This is one of those leagues where like those late first aren't going to really matter, because what's a Luther Burden or Matthew Golden going to do type of league? It's going to be a roster clogger that you don't feel like you can cut.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would be willing to give that Trusted Process team back their 27 early first, if like that was an important aspect of the deal for Lamar. But
I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's tough.
I wouldn't do that. It's 1 QB.
Okay, I guess they only have one.
If it's 2 QB,
first.
Yeah, you got me. But
yeah,
you're telling me this team in 2 years is going to figure it out, or I get Jeremiah Smith?
I mean, this is the 101.
I'm taking Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But most people are like every 27 first is Jeremiah Smith. This is Jeremiah Smith because he can't figure it out. So I'm not gonna bail him out like that. I would need him to be like,
okay.
I don't even know.
Wait, Lamar traded him away for the first. I mean, I will say, like, I mean, I'm honestly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, and you have a ridiculous amount.
Pull up that trade tree.
Oh shoot. Wait, can I do it from here with the sleeper? I usually just do it from my own account.
If you click left side, there's like the useful links.
Yeah.
And there's team page.
This is Auburn.
My screen's a little bit.
No, I gotcha.
Yeah, and then you go trade tree.
Oh, dude, the IDP is gonna.
This guy's moving.
Trip me out.
But yeah, it looks like it was a Penix, a first, and a second.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I hear the note about having trouble consolidating the value and the depth. I think the thing is in these shadow leagues, you do have to find the teams that are willing to do the tank stuff, that are like, I need to trade away my productive players for picks. And it might be harder in a single quarterback league. But I'm keeping tabs on these crappy teams.
It's also something that may have to come around week 4 or 5.
Right.
Everyone's optimistic. He's like, oh, what if Trey Harris hits? Bateman's not bad. Or, like, I'm a cokehead. Like, you can talk yourself into having a decent team. But then when you walk up to a team that has Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Igbuka, Higgins, Tyreek Hill, Jonathan Taylor, Breece Hall, Alvin Kamara, and Joe Burrow, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Like, Jalen Coker is not the same caliber of starting, starter. So for me, like, I'm certainly fishing around, but it's probably going to be something where week 3, week 4 come around, and the guy with Amarion Hampton's like, okay, everyone else on my team sucks. Can I split them apart?
Yeah,
like, you might be able to do it then.
Yeah. This is and I'm looking at this team right here. No 26. The only 26 pick they have is a fourth. No 27 first. Their next first is in 2028. But this team, like, this is what I would be doing. Like, having additional first is nice, and I would try to find a way to, like, move off the excess value. Like, one of these receivers, I would try to move off for a first to just have that back in my pocket, especially if I'm not starting these players. But Kyler, Bijan Gibbs, I mean, he needs more running backs, but BTJ, Nico, Marv, JMO, Pickens, McLaurin, Evan Ingram. It's a pretty nasty team. But I mean, when people are willing to trade away their Lamars and their Bijans and their Gibbs and their CDs, because their team's terrible outside of that, they know where to go. Jeez, man, this is crazy.
I will say it would be nice to have Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith in 2 years.
Sure, yeah. Don't let me convince you to move out those early firsts.
Yeah, you're like, let's trade that early 27. I'm like, buddy, they're already saying early 27s are worth in all the just right now.
Jeremy, just YouTube some Lamar highlights, okay? And then just pull up his player profile thing. Just look at how many fantasy points he scores.
I'll pull it up, and then I'll pull up War right next to it and be like, no. Like, I don't have to start multiple quarterbacks.
That's fair. This is why we have 2 people on the stream, right, guys?
Got to save the Will After Dark best ball streams.
All right, we've got. Let's hit these real quick, and then I've got one more. I see Ryan had posted his team. We'll pull up that one, and then we'll hit the other startups. Sound like a deal? Sound like a plan?
You're running the ship, Will.
That's true. I can do whatever I want, guys. I have full control of the system. We
could do whatever the hell we want.
What do you guys want to do? Somebody Venmo me $10. I will do something funny. All right. 10-man full PPR. Who should I draft for my 7th pick? It's redraft season. I did my first redraft mock yesterday. I'm locking in. I'm getting ready.
A mock.
Here's my take. This is kind of tough because it's 4 receivers and CMC, like one of the most volatile first round picks that I feel like we've had in a while. But my redraft take, and I did it last week. I am if I can, outside of Chase at the 101, because I just can't not do Chase with that defense and what we saw last year, Triple Crown Chase. But I think I'm a running back in the first if you can.
Oh,
I think so. And I think it is mostly the ADP for a lot of the home league sites. I think you can get really good values on receivers. And in my experience, and are you in some redraft leagues? How many redraft leagues are you in each year outside of your dynasty stuff?
I think I'm like in 3-ish.
Okay.
And then I also I play as a shadow GM in Becca's work league. So
nice. Yeah.
in my she's so good at fantasy.
Yeah, it's a dynasty mommy. My experience is there's at least, I mean, there's probably like 3 or 4 people who are just not locked in to NFL news. They're not in any dynasty leagues, so they're not keeping up with stuff. Right now is when they're typing in fantasy football on the podcast thing on their Apple Music when they're going into work and listening to stuff for the first time. Like there's people like that. And I think those people tend to be more comfortable and familiar with running back situations and are like, oh, better grab Tony Pollard. I know he's the starter for the Titans. I got to go get, whatever. Isaiah Pacheco. He's going to be the starter for the Chiefs versus who is Emeka Agbaka? Who is on Tampa Bay? They got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Like, no way this guy's going to do anything. I think you get good values at the wide receiver. And Darren here. Thanks, you guys did me right.
I know Darren.
With the 1999. Oh, the audio clip isn't playing. We fly high, no lie. You know this. Ballin'. All right, that was better than the audio clip for you. Darren, appreciate it though. Much love. We appreciate you all.
You super chat, and Will sings. That's how the stream works.
Heck yeah, look at this.
But thank you so much, Darren.
Darren Dantzler stand in the chat. I love Darren. Yeah, heck yeah. Who doesn't? He's so cool. Gosh, how much time does it take to make a YouTube account? Dang, sorry. That's supposed to be.
My friend has too much time.
Oh, Diaz. Oh. All right, I pushed the button like 6 times and it just played. There you go.
Oh, so you got hit by a bunch of them.
What's the I deposit? What's the song
from
last
It's a tsunami warning.
I don't know. It was a Tie Fountain in Flight. I don't even remember the rest of the words. I just remember the Ty Felton part catching me.
Something about Jalen, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We'll have to go back.
Never draft Jalen, right? Oh, I could do it. I could do it right now, but we'll move on. Who would you trade?
He was doing at the office karaoke party.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, there was some people that were pushing for karaoke. We were doing the bar hopping thing after the actual work was done, and we didn't end up doing it. But I'll tell you what, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I would have hit that karaoke stage. All right.
I've no doubt.
I appreciate it. All right, who would you trade David Montgomery for? Who would you trade David Montgomery for wide receiver wise? Standard, Superflex, PPR league. We'll just assume like a 12 by 10 or whatever. Yeah, I think, man, I think David Montgomery's got pretty depressed value. I think a lot of people, and I mean, me included, love Jahmyr Gibbs and believe all the running back, he's taking more snaps out there. But I think this team loves David Montgomery, and he's going to have his role, even if it's 5% less. That's still a pretty impactful role on one of the best scoring offenses in the league. Who did lose Frank Ragnow, but still. Yeah, I'm pulling up. I'm trying to look at this range that David Montgomery is right now.
Currently he is an 8th rounder.
And he is like RB23, KTC. He's around like Jaden Reed, Brandon Ayuk, Keon Coleman. That's tough. I feel like I'd rather just have
Godwin, Myers, Calvin Ridley.
I will say, here's my one Godwin thing. I mean, the Godwin is, I'm not going to say a great buy low, but I think he is. I think a lot of teams that have Godwin would be willing to move him with the Igbuka steam paired with the, pup potential starting the season. I will say Igbuka, a lot of playing on the outside in the preseason and played a ton of slot in college. I think he can do it all for sure. But I think that was interesting to me, especially when you pair it with expecting Godwin to start the season on the pup. I feel like you would expect Igbuka to, be the fill-in, and he'll play the Godwin role in the slot. So I think that's maybe sneaky, exciting, positive for Godwin that he might be able to maintain that slot role with Igbuka on the outside.
I think you're just excited to be able to talk about Igbokwe more.
That was a pro Godwin stance. With also a little Igbokwe can play everywhere. That definitely was a part of it.
Yeah.
What about Josh Downs? You think you'd have to add much more onto David Montgomery for Josh Downs?
Probably not a lot. I mean, it depends who it is. Some people are like, some people love it. What about like a Matthew Golden, Shakir, Keon Coleman? Any of those guys?
I could be convinced. Would you what about any of these oldies? I mean, would you go after I know Mike Evans is a little bit higher.
Maybe tear down for like a Jennings. A Juwan Jennings might not be a bad play. I know he's injured right now, but
you could get pluses maybe for like
you could probably
Michael
get like a
Pittman.
Jennings in a third.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Would you go all the way down to like? Would you make the Steph Diggs bet, or is Jennings where you would stop? Debo.
I don't hate the Steph Diggs bet if I can get like a decent like throw in back. Like can I do
a throw in that lets
in
me
a
do
third
something
and Diggs in a second? And it also something. It also depends like, do I need him? You know, like, do I need this wide receiver I'm trading for to be productive week 1? Or is it a thing of like, the Diggs thing takes a couple weeks. Like, I don't really know what to expect from Diggs. Do I need him? It's kind of different than I can just pick the value play and you know, figure out what to do later. Yeah. Similar to the trade we had earlier with Jonathan Taylor and Brees. Whereas, like, I don't know what to do with Brees. Do I just take the guaranteed dude that's going to play week 1 type of vibe? So I think it's kind of what outlook are you looking at? Like, do you want that guy that's going to play right away? Or do I want to kind of shoot for maybe a value because some of these players are depressed due to injury, like a Godwin, like a Jennings, like a Diggs?
Yeah. DDK here just moved a 27 second and a 27 third, or for a 27 third plus Roman Wilson. Are you trading away a second for a third and the Roman Wilson bet?
Personally, I probably wouldn't. I'm not the biggest Roman Wilson believer yet, just because
I mean, there's been some.
I know he's been banged up and stuff, but he to me he's like 1 in a million right now in terms of wide receivers out there. Now, you know, week 1, week 2 come by and he's, you know, putting up good production and good usage. Certainly, this is something where it's like, hey, all you did is move back potentially like 8 spots and picked up a guy that could be meaningful. Yeah. But I think realistically, in most leagues, Roman Wilson's not going to be that impactful of a player.
Yeah, the thing
unless if it's best ball, maybe in best ball it could be fun.
Yeah, the thing with the second two, and I mean, it's definitely, you guys understand your leagues more than we do. So for me, when I look at this trade, I'm thinking about in season what the second can do for me versus the third. And in my experience, and I mean, I'm not going to pretend to know what's going to happen with Roman Wilson this season. Like maybe we do see Steelers offense throw more and Aaron Rodgers looks good and it's him, DK, and Roman Wilson. But to me, I would rather have the second. And if I need the receiver help or the receiver bet to hit, I would rather use it to buy like Juwan Jennings when he's smashing last season. And it's like, oh, he's got this role and I feel confident about it for this 8-week stretch. Here, take my second. I'm going to have that for this season. And I'd rather do that with my seconds than this. But all right, here's I'm going to do a quick pause. Okay.
Oh.
I'm worried about the 5% chance that Darren doesn't know that Darren Dancer Stan is just joshing, just trying to have a good time and be a goofy boy. So let us know, Darren, if you want us, if you want me to use your 1999 to hire a moderator to ban this kind of activity. I'm just kidding. Maybe.
That's true. That's true. We can
that's Will trying to be a good like stream host, moderator, hall monitor, and also funny. It's a bad combo. So we're gonna move on to the next question, and then we'll get to the startups. And I don't even have to pee yet, so we got a little bit more time. Trey, what is up? Hope y'all are doing well. I'm doing well. How are you doing, Jeremy? You doing well?
I'm doing well.
Nice. Football's almost here. Let's go. Newer to fantasy. Joined a 1 PPR 8-man league with some friends. Can you grade my first big trade? Trade away Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith, and Derrick Henry. got Josh Allen, CeeDee Lamb, and Tony Pollard.
Ooh.
Did I win this? My RBs left are Amari Hampton, Chase Brown, and the Steelers rookie running back. Yeah, that's a banger.
I will say I got scared. I got you splitting it up into two separate spots, Trey. That scared me.
Yeah.
When you're like, hey, I traded away Jalen Hurts. But yeah, especially in a 1 PPR, 8-man league, I don't know if it is super flex. But even if it isn't, tier up a wide receiver at CeeDee Lamb, the gap, I'm not going to say the gap between Henry and Pollard is small. It's probably going to be pretty big.
Yeah. That's a price you got to pay to do this move, yeah.
But you tiered up massively at wide receiver, tier up slightly at quarterback, getting Allen, and then Pollard is certainly a serviceable running back, given that you already have a Hampton, Chase Brown, Caleb, and now you got Tony Pollard.
So pretty.
That's an amazing trade long term, because now you never have to worry about your wide receiver one for the next 3 years.
Heck yeah. I hadn't shown my one cool sport card that I have, so I had to do it this stream. It would have been all right. We got a laughing emoji. It's all good. All right, that's good. All is well. All is well in the universe. All right. What are we doing?
We did scare away the Stan account.
I want to pull up this Bravo Daddy startup draft. I think this is fascinating. Goodbye all. It was a good run. Hey. Always be remembered.
Will, do we hit this one? I feel like we're leaving Miles on the back burner right now.
Oh no.
It got lost between all the Stan chat.
Well,
not to get you excited by Bravo. I see.
Right,
I'm pulling the rug out from under you.
No, this is good. We keep each other accountable. This is my apologies, Miles. Jeremy, why don't you read the question and I'll think about what I did to the people.
I don't want it to feel like that. No. Will, I got a question for you.
Hit it. Hit me.
Should I trade Puka for A-Chain and Caleb Johnson? Got Jettas, JSN, and Rice, Travion, and Bucky.
Oof.
There's a lot of ands in there, but let's see. Should I trade Puka for A-Chain and Caleb Johnson?
The A-Chain?
I don't think any format was mentioned.
Yeah, let us know, Miles, if there's... Because I do think this is kind of an interesting format conversation, especially with the players that you told us are on your roster right now. The A-Chan thing, I do want to say I think it's a calf injury right now he's dealing with, and I think the buzz
soft tissue.
Yeah, the word is that like there's not necessarily fear for week 1, but I believe Mike McDaniel used like holding them out. Something was like weeks a couple days ago or something. But those are spooky a little bit. So I want to put that out there. Mostly to stall to see if we can get a format update on the trade. But just pure vibes.
No, we never stall here. We're refined. Everything right. is so refined here.
True.
No, I think I'm keeping Puka probably in this type of trade, just because when I'm looking at here, Travion Bucky I feel fine with. I feel like I could probably patch together cheap running back production. I'm not going to be missing A-Chain a ton. Yeah. It's not like I'm sitting there being like, oh crap, Brian Robinson's my RB2 or something. I have two guys I feel pretty confident in, especially with Travion, how he's looked. Like I said earlier, I don't think he's going to be a bell cow by any means, but the usage is probably going to be very efficient, especially for fantasy football. And then you're talking about giving up a top 10 wide receiver. I already got
super
Jettas, JSN, Rice. Yeah, and if it's an 8-man league, like give me the studs. You want to hoard all those elite players. The more shallow it gets, 8-man, Puka's definitely going to be the more impactful player.
Yeah, and yeah, I think I don't need to reiterate what you said at the running back spot. I feel good enough about that. That is tough though. I mean, you get to do the Caleb Johnson bet, but yeah. What's up?
I have a question.
Yeah,
I have a question for you.
Okay, you don't have to do that every time.
Do you want to look at the Bravo?
Oh,
do you want to do the Bravo draft now?
Jeremy,
I know. I rained on your parade last time.
Jeremy, shut the hell up! You forgot Greg Orlando's trade.
Oh no,
Bill or Flacco, Chisholm, Horn, Maffa. Wow, this is quite the 12-team superflex.
It's Bill or the kitchen sink.
Do I have to drop players if I do the other side of the trade? Because I don't know if I want to be dropping players.
That is a lot of empty
roster
spots.
I mean, I think it's sneaky to move Bill right now for packages where you get like Flacco plus a handful of bets, but I don't know if these are the bets that I want to make. Like, I think I want to just take the bet that sounds like it has a greater chance of hitting. We do have
I mean, it's hard to split
preseason superstar
Bill into much, right? Like, am I trading for Flacco because I'm starting Flacco week 1? Otherwise, I don't really want Flacco because by the time I probably need him, he's probably the backup.
Yeah.
And then the other guys are, all, can I put him on my taxi squad? Like, for me, Bill is more of like, can I move him for just straight up a late second, some picks, or can I use him as a throw in to tier up to a different tier?
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily trying to tear down because then you're just getting into, I hope one of these players has a Bill resurgence.
All right, I'm going to pull up the draft board here, but wanted to hit Trey here. Glad y'all like the trade. I did to ensure my wide receiver core, and now have CD and JJ. Last year, I lost my league drafting CMC and Pacheco. So I'm high on wide receivers this year. And yeah, I think it's tough. You can't predict injuries, but overall longevity, and it is the Dynasty vibe. I know you said you're newer. Wide receivers just year over year tend to hold that value a little bit stronger than the equivalent running back. So you'll see in startups wide receivers fly off the board versus running backs that, many would argue score more consistently. But I mean, JJ and CD can't tell you made a bad trade if that's where your wide receiver room starts with.
I do want to say one thing, and this is no strategy. I know I'm a data person and all that, so this is just pure me being a football fan. I love a wide receiver popping off, but when you have like a superstar running back just going crazy, it hits different. A good CMC when you got him on your team and he's
good Jahmyr Gibbs at the 112
point. Yeah, exactly. Like it's a little bit different than like, CD had 11 catches and 90 yards and a touchdown. Like that feels good, but there's something special about just a running back taking over everything. That being said, that's not why you should draft him.
Yeah.
But
speaking,
we are here for fun
of early running backs. So this is the Bravo Daddy League. This is also a 12 by 10 0.75 tight end premium. Just one tight end starting spot. But this one was an interesting one, and I leaked it earlier. But I wanted to talk about this QB run that happened in the 4th and the 5th.
Ridiculous.
And I want to talk about the culmination of it, where we have a 5-12 Justin Fields, the chef microwave, not wanting to get boxed out of quarterback any further, and
I mean, he's also in a tough spot like that. I did mention the last dropper out of QB land.
Yeah,
he really was, because it's like if I don't take a Justin Fields here, I have to go 24 picks or not 24.
Yeah, 24 picks. And like, yes, you can trade around for sure, but I will say a lot of the movement we've had has been some pretty funky moves. Like there's been some cheaper move ups. I think in this league, I think I'm mixing the leagues up, but it's not always going to be free for you to take, move up to take a quarterback. And a lot of people are going to like taking a third quarterback that's Jackson Dart, like that's an exciting third quarterback to roster.
Mm-hmm.
So all right, Tricky Trev here. So how has this Tricky Trev guy doing? We'll take a look at that. We got you. Because I will say Tricky Trev is definitely feeling the QB run right here with the Cam Ward at the 5-2 as the first quarterback. So let's talk about what started this. So right here, we've got I started Gibbs, BTJ, traded back a little bit to get some more picks in this kind of 6th. I was about to say, yeah, I think I moved up in the 6th and got an additional pick in the 8th and lost my 9-1 and 8-12 as a part of that. Something like that. Probably should have gotten these prepared, but it's okay. But the QB run convo started, I think, with this pick right here. Zway 75. Started Burrow, McBride, Nix. And then coming back.
That's true.
Stacked Kyler with McBride after starting Burrow, Nix. And, there were a couple handful of teams.
That build is crazy to begin with.
It is wild. This is kind of like what I'm doing in the other league.
The 5th was tight end, like kicking all wide receivers and running backs.
Yeah. So And this Kyler pick was after we saw Baker and Purdy go. And like pure ADP wise and like sleeper, like you'll see some of these running backs are getting pushed down. Like we just saw Cook go with the 5'9", McCaffrey at the 6'1". Like sleeper ADP is kind of whack and junky. But like wouldn't surprise me at all if Jacobs had gone to this point. Chase Brown's still on the board as well. So quarterbacks
It's a
definitely
wide
get in the
range
lean.
at this point.
And I mean we saw JT at the 4'11". Like there were some running backs that fell a little bit. But yeah, we had the Baker, Purdy, Kyler. So this is a third quarterback that went off the board. And when that happens, it kind of like sets a little ticker in my mind where I see a team take a third quarterback and I go, all it takes is one or two more teams doing that. And then people will start to feel the Matt Stafford QB2 pressure. So come around here. We have Blue Bee Pancakes traded, I believe with me, and I traded back to this pick. My brain is a little bit fried because I believe. All right, I'm gonna break it down for you. I think I traded here with this guy to have this pick, and then he traded to Blue Bee Pancakes, and I think I traded back with it. Okay, whatever. I'm getting lost here, but the picks on the board. I go JJ here, so I have Herbert, BTJ, and Gibbs. I go JJ. And then I go third quarterback, and I take T-Law to stack with BTJ. And was kind of hoping. So, like, right here with this team, I traditionally like starting 2-3 wide receivers. So, I think my hope was because I was able to move to this 6-4 spot, I'm kind of hoping I can still hit a receiver that's in the range I would have taken at this 5-1 and kind of start this QB run here. So, it was Ward, Dak, Goff, Penix, all go in a row. Two teams that were feeling the pressure, right? This F. Sanders here, Drake May, Goff doesn't have another pick until the 6-12. F it. I need to take a quarterback. You, Ertz, London, Hampton, Williams, you were feeling that. I probably should take a quarterback because if Bryce Young and Fields go, I'm counting on.
I hated doing it. I really wanted to hit Igbuka. I was so close. I was like, that's the pick I wanted to make. Well, actually, I was actually wanting to make Smith. That was actually what I want. I wanted to stack Smith with Hurts. I thought that would be good. But then I was like, I need to lock up that quarterback position and then stack it with London. I was like, that seems like a fine. That sounds like the smart, unsexy thing to do because Penix, I feel like, is a little pricey. But considering people are, taking Dak Prescott over him, I feel like at this point, all hell broke loose and I just needed to make sure I had a life jacket on before I jumped in.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping. I mean, there's a couple of receivers I like in this range. I mean, I was really trying to find a way to trade back from this 5-1 spot to go into a range where I could hit Igbuka here and just have two quarterbacks and then an Igbuka with BTJ Gibbs. But I was like, you know what? Let me take this third quarterback, get this QB run started, and at the 6-4 spot, I'll still be able to hit a receiver. So I'm leaking my plans a little bit, but there's only 2 picks away, so only so much can happen until this point. But yeah, with Gibbs, this is not what I like to do in startups, but it is fun. And we'll see, maybe I get a Tricky Trev text tonight. Hey man, what does it take to get Justin Herbert off your team? I saw you take 2 QBs at that turn. You like them? Can I get a second QB? Who else? Do we have another?
Wait,
We've got a one. How many 1 QB teams do we have?
Definitely a league. We have one?
Blue Bee Pancakes is one.
QB teams.
M-Fly, we have 3 because we have M-Fly here, Blue Bee Pancakes, and then
so many trades.
Tricky Trev. And you know what's interesting too? If we see some teams taking 3, look at the next picks for these teams. Blue Bee does not have a pick until 7-4, 1 quarterback. Tricky Trev, 6-11. So this is, 9 picks are going to happen here. And then M-Fly has a 6-5 pick here. So I assume this is, potentially, it might not be though. That's the tough thing is like all it takes is one team saying quarterback matters and give me Jackson Dart. And then all those 3 teams are staring down Tua, Darnold,
Russell Wilson,
Stafford, Russell Wilson,
Aaron Rodgers,
Jalen Milroe. Somebody in this league is going to have Shuck and Rattler. Like that is just going to happen. The combo. And then
I think the thing with this league is there's going to be trading, right? Like so many people have these
Yeah.
high value 3 quarterbacks. It's just basically saying, I'm not going to pick a player. I'm just going to try to hold the league hostage at a certain point and eventually trade, you know, Kyler for whatever or Herbert for whatever,
Yeah.
and kind of adjust and kind of even out my wide receiver or the other positions I passed up at this certain range. But it was
Yeah.
certainly interesting when I opened up my sleeper app and I was like, wait, there's a lot of red and like
You just saw this
something's
turn.
happening here.
JJ,
Yeah,
T-Law,
because
Ward, Prescott, Goff, all go.
well, yeah, I mean, I remember I was like opening up my app. I was like, okay, cool. I can stack Hurts with Smith. I feel good about that. And I was like, nope, I can't do any of that because if I do
Yeah.
Smith, I don't have a quarterback.
Then this is like the beautiful aspect of startups too. And like, yes, there will be trading, and I totally get in here. You don't draft for need, you draft for value, and you trade for need. 100% fair. I love that. But I think you also need to experience the feeling of, oh my God, I need a quarterback. And I'm like, hey, does anyone want to trade me a quarterback? And you get offers, and it's like, yeah, bro, give me that receiver and a first, and like I'll kick you a second back. And it's like, whoa, what? They go next to each other in startups. Like, why do I need to tack on a first? And it's like, bro, it's the price of the brick went up.
Yeah, that's the issue. Is like you can pick value, but what's the value if I didn't pick a quarterback and then
Yeah.
I get stuck with an Aaron Rodgers or someone, and I have to pay up, and no one has made that first move to break the seal
Yeah.
of this plus a first is worth Jared Goff,
Right.
And it's like it hurts, but
Right. And
eventually someone has to break that wall, and then it becomes more free flowing. But it's hard to be the one, and I don't want to be in a situation where I'm desperate. So the value of, okay, I'll take a Penix over maybe someone else I like more, just so I can hedge, and then I can take a QB3 that's like a Russell Wilson and feel fine with it. Then I'm not like I have to rely on him. I get a little bit, I kind of free up my picks to not have to be used to address this glaring need right out of the gate.
Yeah. Yeah. What would so like real quick before we move on from this one, and we can take a glance at the best ball one. That's, I think, only through it's not through the second round.
I held it up.
No, you actually, it's not just you. And I'm not even saying that as like a negative, like, oh my gosh, can we speed this thing up? Because there's a lot of trades that have happened in the best ball league. And I love best ball trades in startups. That is very fun because it is, there's a very different vibe and feel to lineup leagues in terms of like bets and hits throughout a season. Like if you think about just how your roster is impacted by having an additional wide receiver that's running routes, the additional value of just having an extra player.
Very, very fun for trades in depth, right? Like
you would
does make those later picks valuable.
Yeah, like there are some trades that if I screenshotted it and posted on Twitter and didn't say best ball, people would be like, "What the hell? Like Fleece Central? That is insane! Like what kind of crayon eating league are we in?" But yeah, I'm gonna post a question real quick. Let's pick like Tricky Trev here, right? Cam Ward QB1.
Okay.
You have Bijan, JT, Amon-Ra, Marv. Is this the kind of team, like, and Cam Ward's an interesting first quarterback for this kind of team, and I like Cam Ward, but like in terms of like if we look at underdog expectations for Cam Ward, and we'll do this real quick. We'll see how quickly we can do this on the fly, but if we did expectations for Cam Ward off the back with a team that has JT and Bijan, and obviously we don't have any point scoring for Cam Ward, but QB 23 on underdog. So, expectations are, low end QB2 as far as production goes. If you are, Tricky Trev here, and, I'll pivot back here to the startup board. Are you just kind of saying, I kind of got boxed out of quarterback. Instead of going to the 3 QB teams, instead of going to Zway and Will and saying, all right, well, let me know what I need to do to get one of your third QBs off your roster so I can feel good about the position. Are you fine with this kind of team just saying, screw you guys, my second quarterback is going to be Aaron Rodgers. It's going to be Stafford late. It's going to be Daniel Jones, and I'll figure out QB2 long-term when I win this season or throughout the year. I'll see if I can hit on some later picks and add seconds or first to make those trades happen. Would you stress out about it right now, or would you try to hit one of those guys to at least start week 1 and figure it out in season?
I do think what I would do is try to find at least an immediate patch, like you said,
Yeah.
like an Aaron Rodgers. So like, I need to pick up another quarterback eventually. Doesn't have to be at 6'11", right? Like, because at 6'11", I'd be like, if I take a quarterback, are the next 2 picks going to be quarterbacks? I don't know about that. But like, I'm certainly thinking like, I don't want to be held hostage to where I only have one starting quarterback week 1.
Yeah.
That being said, do I feel fine rolling out a Russell Wilson and getting growth with it? Sure. If that means I can continue to kind of lean into the strategy of youth, upside, that type of talent. Because then if my team is doing well, I can say, okay, cool, let me go all in. If I go all in now, and my, Marvin Harrison is kind of meh, and whatever, like, and Cam Ward takes a little bit to come on, then I'm like, wait a minute, I just sold part of my future, and this team doesn't really make me feel confident to begin with. So for me, like, I think the strategy with this team is like, I look at all these players. These are all players that will be viable and relevant. We will be talking about them next year as players that people want. So for me, it's like, okay, cool. I have a window to where I haven't drafted someone like a Christian McCaffrey or Dak Prescott or Goff, where it's like, I just need them to score to be relevant. Ward, he can have a meh year this year, and it's still second year of a young quarterback. Like, there's still upside there. So for me, I do think this is, if I am stuck in a situation without a quarterback, this is kind of the situation I want to be in. I don't want to be stuck with an older quarterback like that.
Okay, we are doing the thing where Will's doing stuff live, and can I hit you with a quick pivot?
Yes.
Back to Alpha Daddy. So I want you to suck in this board.
Okay.
I want you to breathe it in, and I'm going to throw something on the screen for you. All right.
What's up?
This is we talked about it at the beginning of the stream.
Ooh, is there a trade?
We have a trade offer. Shout out to Seth. Appreciate you setting this while I'm streaming. This is great for the content. So we talked about it. Seth wants Igbuka and Cam Ward. Obviously, at this turn, win Baker over Cam Ward, and then win Igbuka on the turn. Isn't going to be able to get all those 3 assets, but wants to get Cam Ward. And I talked about being a team that's willing to trade back to accumulate first, just with how goofy the start is. Yes, it feels counterintuitive in a tight end premium format to say, I am going to dominate the tight end position. I'm going to bank on the premium to carry me, and then commit to tanking with the 2 highest scoring projected tight ends for the upcoming season. But I think when you look at the rest of the league and see all these elite builds, teams taking running backs early, and still being decent at quarterback, like, I don't know how much I'll be able to contend without having taken a skill position player outside of QB and tight end. So are you doing this? Going back to the 7-2 to trade away the QB2? I think I like that. I don't think that's too far back to do that move.
I think I would do it. I think I would do it just because you aren't giving up it's not like a 4th or a 3rd round value, right? You're not giving up a super high value player. You're giving up a guy that does have high-ish value, but you're telling me I get, let's see who's going, like a early 7th would be something like a Pearsall, Golden, Montgomery.
And this might be a team that
Addison,
you're fine
plus a first.
Like, losing out on the quarterback bet. And like, if I truly am fully tanking, it's not that terrible to do that kind of move back for a rookie bet player or a young bet player like a Pearsall, like a Golden. And there's a chance, like, I think realistically, if you were like, oh, Will, you might still be able to get a quarterback at the 6'10", I probably would need to trade up, combining like the 6'10" and the 6'12" to move up to the early 6 to get, Dak or Goff if I really wanted to do that. But I don't think this team needs to do that.
I mean, this is also something too where you will have 2 7th round picks, and you can just say, hey, I'll use one of them on Geno. And realistically, like, are we expecting a Geno to perform similarly to Cam Ward? I feel pretty confident that they'll probably score similarly.
Oh, I think
Now, obviously, Ward has the crazy upside, but
he took the trade down. Never mind. All right. Never mind. But it's okay.
We scared him off. We scared him off.
Yeah, you heard me liking it too much. It's okay. All right.
You should have accepted it first.
Well, I think it was it's in my DMs. But it's weird because usually when somebody takes back a trade, it disappears, you know? Like, or it shows as like rejected or not pending anymore. And this one,
like canceled or something.
Yeah, this one just disappeared. Because I have a trade in my inbox that's way worse. All right, it's okay. All good. I'll DM him later. Seth, if you're still here.
I will say, Will.
Yeah.
We got 6 new subs. 6 new subs tonight.
Hey, thank you guys. Oh, appreciate it. All right, you want a quick peek at the best ball, and we can close on that. Let us know if there's any questions in the chat. Sound good?
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, Greg
pissed tonight. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Ooh. I think we got 2 waiver questions.
Yeah, I'll pull up the other one.
One from Subtitled Chip.
Oh, dang.
Ethics. We don't just talk about fantasy football here. We talk about ethical fantasy football.
That is true. We've mentioned that. This is an ethical fantasy football channel.
There's a dog hair on my mic. Is it collusion to tip my dad off on late round waiver guys? Horton, Little Bill. That's a good nickname. If I know he wouldn't do the research on his own, trying to maintain league parity. Here's the kicker. Commish.
Here's my take is, so collusion, I think, needs to be like a net positive for both managers that couldn't be accomplished without the colluding act, right? So here you are raising up one team, but it isn't like your dad wins, and when he wins, he takes you out for ice cream, and you're like, oh, nice, I can get my collusion ice cream party. I think, to me, if it's like mid-draft...
The ice cream is what makes it collusion.
Right. That's the lowest form you could hit collusion. Usually we're talking some kind of money. But I think, to me, if you are doing this casually, like I just did some collusion to myself. It was like negative for me. I was hanging out with one of my buddies, and we have a rookie draft this Saturday. And I was telling him about, like, some positive Harold Fannin buzz. You know, he sat the preseason game. There was some additional context of, the players that were going to be involved in the week 1 game plan in some capacity. So that isn't like he's going to take all of David Njoku's routes and has his role or whatever, but just like he is going to be playing for the Browns week 1 kind of vibe. Yeah, I think that stuff before the draft. I think if it's mid-draft and you're calling them and you're like, hey, you should take, Lil Bill coming up here. His name is Ja'Cory Kresge-Merritt. That's JAC. Like, that's a little funky, and I wouldn't advise doing that, because it's kind of, the draft itself should be its own. Everyone is picking their own teams, unless you're Jeremy helping out Becca. That's not collusion. You're not in the league. You're just a supportive hubby. But yeah, I don't think this is collusion.
Yeah, I mean, I will just say, to me, it's just like talking to your buddies about players.
Yeah.
I think collusion is very much trades oriented. Like, if you picking up Horton, is collusion, like, who cares? Like,
yeah.
To me, it's like, oh, like, this player's good. Like, you pick which one you want. I don't think that's huge. Like, to me, it's like player renting or something like that, where it's like, oh, make this trade and then I'll trade you back this player. Like, things like that is more of the collusion aspect, or trades that go through that you're like, there's no way in hell that, every trade calculator in the entire world says this is incredibly unfair. Why did this trade go through?
Yeah. Then we got this one from Greg here. The 3 free agents. And this one's kind of funky because I see some of these are labeled as taxi spots. But
yeah.
I might just read. Let me know, Greg, if this is impacting the answer if I give you non-taxi squad players, because I do want to tell you, I think Chris Rodriguez and Kate Stover getting some first team rep stuff too. And it's a little bit more compared to the other players, like Tanner McKee, Stetson Bennett.
Mhm.
I know we've seen some backup quarterback trades, especially ones that like perform well, like we've seen from Milton. But a lot of teams, especially at the quarterback position, do like having a good backup. And Tanner McKee is like the perfect good backup that there's like no drama or worry about replacing the starting quarterback or anything.
Yeah, there's not like fear of like, oh, you're bringing him in to compete.
Yeah. So I think mine would be Rodriguez, probably Stover. Just looking at these other names, and then do you have a favorite third?
Gainwell. I think Gainwell probably would be my third.
Yeah, I mean
Just
there's some
because
other interesting
we've
names,
talked
but
about that situation before. I don't really know what that RB room is going to look like, and Gainwell could totally get some sort of role. Because Warren's okay. We know what he is. He's like nice. He's like kind of reminds me of like Najee and Warren are the Amazon Basics version of Zeke and Tony Pollard back in the day,
love
where
it.
they're like both incredibly efficient, but everyone's like, just give it to Tony Pollard, and everyone's like, just give it to Jalen Warren, don't give it to Najee. But I don't think we're gonna have like some crazy breakout from Warren at this point.
Yeah.
And the Caleb Johnson stuff is a little scary. So Gainwell could carve himself out a decent opportunity there. I don't think he's incredible either, but I don't think the competition's too steep.
All right, we've got this next one from Reckless here, and no stalling needed, except for my intro stall. I've got it ready.
Oh,
Would you accept for
besides
TJ
calling
Hawkinson?
it out.
Would you rather have TJ? Yeah, exactly. That's the stall I need. TJ Hawkinson or Mark Andrews? And we do get the Isaiah Likely, expecting. My expectation is probably like the first couple weeks of the season. No Isaiah Likely returning from the injury, or maybe it's limited snap stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm probably still leaning Hawkinson. But I get there's some, weird fear with the rookie quarterback. Not sure exactly what the situation will look like, but I just think pure opportunity for one of these tight ends to be like real difference maker. I'm probably leaning TJ Hawkinson, but they're pretty similar bets to me. Do you have a strong preference, Hawker or Andrews?
I mean, if I had to pick in a vacuum, it'd probably be TJ for what you said. But honestly, like I like Mark Andrews' value more. Like I feel like the amount of how much farther TJ Hawkinson's going in drafts versus where Mark Andrews is going for draft. I'd much rather just hold on to Mark Andrews and be like, cool, like what am I really giving up here?
Yeah.
I assume is this question, what would you accept for these?
Oh.
So like if we were trading them away.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like for me, I'd be trying
to
to move a Hawkinson type, right? It definitely depends on format, but I feel like you could definitely get a good-ish haul at tight end for TJ Hawkinson. People feel much better with him than Mark Andrews currently, and I feel fine just rolling out Mark Andrews. I'm not a doctor. I know that he had that procedure on his ankle late 2 seasons ago. Slow start to this year, but at the end of the year, he ramped up really nicely. So I'm not too concerned that he's just going to be like an afterthought in the offense.
Yeah.
Not that, yeah. And even if he isn't a high value target earner anymore, he's always going to be a red zone guy. Anyway,
yeah.
So like just the upside of a guy that might just fall forward. Yeah.
Especially with Derrick Henry, that was also combined with the, slow start Andrew stuff. I mean, Zay Flowers, second, third seasons for sure. But yeah, I think these are.
What do you think?
I mean, I have Andrews and Hawk in a league together. 0.5 tight end premium, and I have been trying to move.
You leave this chat?
yeah. This is me. Yeah,
you wanted to test out how easy it was to make a fake Google account.
Yeah, I'm a greedy trader, I will say. So I definitely have been trying to push like what can I add onto Hawk and Andrews to like tier up at another position or get a first, just because I mean that team, for some context, I almost want to pull it up on stream. This is like,
oh boy,
Will's greatest team. It is sexy. So if you guys want to see it, if we want to close the stream with Will's sexy team, actually it's a good answer to the question, right? Because I'm trying to find out what I can get.
Yeah, you can brag. You could pump yourself up.
Yeah, exactly. This is for the people.
You've earned it. You've been grinding this team.
That's true. That's true. No,
Is
I
this like
got
the team
lucky.
that you know the whole team? You like
I could list it off. Um, I definitely did get lucky with this team. I will say before I even pull it up, this team, some key trades. I traded Kenny Pickett and Zamir White for a first, and you can imagine that first ended up being pretty
yeah.
good for a team that is sending out a first for Kenny Pickett
Mhm.
and Zamir White. And it was at the peak of their powers, so I don't want to
Ooh.
be too rude to that guy because it was Zamir White.
Respectfully, what's the peak of Zamir White?
Well, you have to remember it was the end of the season where he was smashing, and that was the same year that Kenny Pickett, heading into, maybe we'll see some strides. He's going to be the starting quarterback for the Steelers for a handful of years.
That hurts me. That hurt. Zamir White was such fool's gold. I was like,
He was, but I will say, like, it was a starting quarterback technically that you are
yeah, Pickett
getting a
was.
first for, so like that doesn't feel that stupid, you know. Um,
Hey, might be a starting quarterback sometime this year.
yeah, that's true. He's gonna not week one, but yeah, this team is nasty. I don't have any
I will
picks.
say while you pull that up.
Yeah,
Oh,
I got it here.
have you pulled it up? Okay, cool.
I'm with us. All right, here we go.
Ooh.
Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, JT, James Cook, Kamara, Aaron Jones, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, Terry McLaurin, Luther Burden. I got Jalen Coker on
So
here.
that first became Jaden Daniels.
The first, I ended up having a handful of firsts, and I made some greedy trades. This was a pretty greedy trade where I moved Hampton and a first, like my own late first for Nico and an earlier second. And that was a little bit more of a bet for this season, where I don't typically like doing that, and I would advise against it for other people. Like, don't. I want to.
This is the MythBusters.
Do as I
the
say.
MythBusters.
Don't do as I do.
Yes. Don't
But
try this at home.
I think that this team, like, I don't like doing this thing where people send out first and are like, I need to build the sexiest smashing this year lineup. But I actually think I was so close. I'm so close to this team to like unstoppable production for 3 to 4 seasons, like literally three-peat, that I was like, F it. I will do that so that my wide receiver room is nasty.
Yeah, I mean, it's whenever you have Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, and then you also have Nico Collins, it's hard to.
And
this
the
is
QB
like,
room
hey, I have a
is
50.
the 101.
I have a 10-car garage. I need to fill it up with stuff.
I have 4 first round startup picks on this team.
Yeah. No, I mean it's
okay. We don't need to gas on my team anymore.
This is worth it.
Let's get to the question.
You're a genius, Will.
I would love to move one of these tight ends and whatever else value you think I can add to get a first round pick for flexibility's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I could turn like Mandrews in a second into a first or TJ in a second into a first, I would love to do that. I don't think that is realistic in practice. So if we go to the crappy tight end teams, this is a tanker for sure. So we don't even need to go there. This guy just traded me Jaden Daniels and Justin Jefferson for Neighbors and Ibuka and a first. Yeah, I know I traded away Ibuka, but it was only to get Jaden Daniels and Justin Jefferson. So I don't think this team would do it. It's another.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Kelsey, it's like already making the Kelsey bet on this team. So I don't know if this team would do it, and also doesn't really have first, so that's tough. This guy doesn't like trading with me, and he also has Trey McBride. So yeah, in practice, after that point, the tight end teams are like fine enough, right? Like this guy's making the Evan Ingram bet, and he has Kincaid and Mason Taylor. Tyler Warren just drafted him. Colson Loveland,
the Ingram
Jake
team
Ferguson.
you could maybe. I feel like the Ingram team you could convince.
Potentially, but this guy just traded for Ingram this year, so that move happened.
Okay.
And so I'm in my mind, I see that as he is accepting, like, I'm betting on Evan Ingram for the season to be like my tight end.
How much you trade for Ingram?
I think it was a second.
Dang.
I know. I think somebody trading a second for Ingram straight up, that could have been a guy I could have traded Hawk and a second for a first for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, I will say if that works, you could totally I mean, I'd probably still just send it out. I mean, if a dude's willing to ball for tight end,
Yeah.
he might be like, oh, actually, like Hawkinson's a huge jump up. That's worth the upgrade.
Yeah.
Because like what I usually encounter at tight end is, and the reason why I brought it up before is it's like usually everyone has their bet. There's only a few teams that
Right.
are actually in the market at all. And if this guy was willing to trade a second for Ingram, and you're like, hey, now you get Ingram and you get Hawk, and I give you a second back, or even if it is like a 28 first or something so far in the future, 28 first actually isn't terrible for your team long
Yeah.
term, because it
That's
gives
true.
you the flexibility when your team's going to need to start reloading.
Yeah. Yeah, and that will kind of line up too. I mean, we'll get JT, we'll be pushing 28. Kamara potentially isn't really making an impact. Cook will be on the last, year and a half of his deal.
Jones
Jones will be gone.
Nick Chubb will be back in action.
Yeah. Ollie Gordon, RB1 for the Dolphins though. So we'll be all good there. But yeah, I think
I low-key like Ollie Gordon. But
I know he looks better than Jalen Wright, I think. And that's coming from somebody that's taken a lot of
He's a
Jalen
different
Wright
role,
in
too.
best ball, for sure. Yeah, Hawk.
he's also in the song.
True. But yeah, I was dumb and never draft Jalen Wright. Okay. Yeah,
That'll be a 10K subscriber video.
Now, if I, and this is for somebody else too, this is not just for me, but for Reckless as well, what would be your creative trade you would do with this team? So not firsts included, like Hawk. Like what position would you even try to add? Like, I don't think I need to be making dynasty wide receiver bets with
Or
this
like
team.
a tier up.
Not necessarily a tier up, but like, would you try to get a interesting young QB3? Like, can I trade Hawk and something for like Dart or something? Would you try to do that with this team, or are you not caring about something like that, and you would just rather hold Hawk and get the tight end production?
Sorry, Big
team.
Diaz is cracking me up.
Tricky Trev's in this league. Wait, are you? Yeah. Like $1 million baby. Oh yeah. Do you want Hawk? You want Hawk? Get that. Actually, no. I like Jake Ferguson. I'll leak that. You don't need to trade for.
Well,
Hawkinson.
also Loveland with Caleb Williams.
Like
he's not going to break that up.
Oh, I could get anyone to break up anything. I own this league. I'm also the commission of this league. It's a little awkward, but
No, I mean, I think honestly, I wouldn't mind you trying to see if I can move, like a Hawk in the second and get like a Dart type player, like a Bryce Young or something like that, or even just getting weird with it, doing like a gross tier down to an extent of like, can I get a second plus, like, I don't know, like a Stafford or a, like a, I'm trying to think of like a gross running back, like a Brian Robinson, a Stevenson or something. Like, make that cross positional trade where you get a player that's more valuable, based on WAR, and you don't, like, you kind of get off the name of a tight end that really isn't that irreplaceable.
And two, it's not even necessarily like, I mean, it's a 0.5 tight end premium. To me, it's just more of like what these guys are doing for my roster. Like having both of them, and it feels so gross because I do remember, I think I traded a first for Hawk like before the injury. I'm trying to remember the exact breakdown. It was like the one hole my team had was like the tight end position or something. But
and you just paid up for it.
Yeah, and that, I do regret that. But I think that's like the thing with like what this is doing for my roster. My team is so good. Yes, you could flex Mark Andrews in a 0.5 tight end premium, especially the first couple weeks of the seasons. Totally fine with that. But I'm not trying to bench my running backs, any of these wide receivers to do that. So it's just, I just have like a cushy backup tight end. And to me, this team doesn't even need a cushy backup tight end. Like, I'll just pick up whoever is running routes in the NFL. I'll play Michael Mayer. He played a decent amount of preseason snaps,
I mean, you can find random guys to pick and pop different injuries. But I think that's something you have to do. I mean, to me, like a tight end is usually, it's like a bond when you're like a kid. I don't know if this is relatable, but I would always
You
get
just say
like
when you're
a card
it's
from
like
my.
a bond when you're a kid. You're
Well,
getting
it's like when I
bonds
was a
when you're a
kid,
child.
my grandparent would send me like it would be like a dollar bill, but it would
Oh,
be
okay.
like here's $20, but it's like a bond, and it's like you
Mm.
spend it, you can get it in 30 years, and I'm like, okay, well I'm going to be dead, so that's what tight ends are. Like you sit here and you're like, oh, they have some nice keep trade cut value, but that's value that you can't really use on things that
Yeah.
you actually need. Like until you could just get that value into picks or into wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, then all of a sudden you actually can use that value. That's why, like, if it is a tear down of I'm just gonna get, a late second and Joe Flacco or something, it's like, okay, at least now Joe Flacco is a movable piece. And
Right.
that pick is now a movable piece.
Yeah. The last thing I'll say on these tight ends, and then we can pull up the. I think we got a couple of questions here. We'll hit, and then we'll peek at the best ball startup, and we can wrap up there. But I'm kind of curious to see what the tight end market looks like in the next couple of seasons, because I think we get 2 first-round tight ends this year that I think, and I know we were lower for sure. And hey, people say Dynasty Daddy doesn't talk about their misses. I'm
That's true.
I
Shouts to that Reddit comment.
I
Keeps us up at night.
no, I care too much about what people think of me. No, I think the tight end market used to be, I mean, you think about the Kelsey years, the Gronk years, like we had these elite, Mark Andrews, Travis Kelsey, Rob Gronkowski, the whatever, few Jimmy Graham seasons. There might be a lot more, like we feel like we got the push of like, okay, we have the new elites, we have Bowers, McBride, but like there's a world where when the old guard, you're getting Mark Andrews, TJ Hawkinson pushing 29, 30. What is their market like when you look around the rest of the tight end landscape? And it's like Colston Loveland is outproducing these guys right now. Tyler Warren is outproducing these guys right now. And, these guys are pushing more towards dynasty tight end 14, 15, 16. I'm not getting, TJ in a second for a first in any capacity. They're not carrying that weight. So it really is a right now production thing. And that's why I really want to make this move right now, because I don't even need that production right now. And I am worried about the dynasty value if Mark Andrews scores less touchdowns next season. But it's not even that I don't
Bert
like these
said
guys.
Andrews. Did you hit on the Andrews and Chardonnay for 28?
I pulled this up.
I wouldn't hate that.
I shut it down because it's not. I don't have Chardonnay on my team. So
okay.
It doesn't apply to me, so I don't care about it. No, I think if we're just looking at the merit of that trade, I think that's pretty fair.
I mean, would you do like a Ford or Giddens?
Oh yeah, I mean, honestly, funny enough, I tried to move Jerome Ford in a
Chardonnay
third
is
for
probably
Charbonnet.
more valuable.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would be willing to do I would like to hold Aaron Jones, but I'd be willing to move. I mean, I probably would need to move like Burden, honestly. It would need to be like Burden and a tight end if I'm trying to get a first. And then I would get a kickback back from that.
Low key, I don't hate that.
For this team, for sure. I mean, my wide receivers are so nasty.
Yeah, it's like, what are you going to do?
Burden hitting, honestly, for me, Burden is just like fun for this team to have. Like, and yeah, like I like to have an extra wide receiver to start. But, that could just be Jalen Coker and Wandale, and Burden turns into, here's how I get my first. So maybe Burden, the only thing I don't know if Burden carries the weight right now until people are confident that he does have a role for the Bears. Like he's played pretty well in the preseason.
Week 2 or something.
Yeah, he's played pretty well in the preseason, but I mean, it's been a lot of Olamide Zaccheaus, and he's with the second team, which is natural for a rookie that's been injured all through camp. But I think that's the only thing, is I probably will do this move at some capacity, but it would need to be like Burden has a 5 for 50 game and he's running 80% of the routes. And it's like, oh, he might be the slot guy, like that kind of thing. So,
yeah, no, I agree.
We can stop talking about Will's team. We can hit, I think, did we hit these subtitle chip?
Subtitle chip.
If B-Rob gets moved to Houston.
As a one of the cult leaders of Woody's Roundup here.
Oh, heck yeah.
I'm not scared of B-Rob being, going to Houston. I don't think they would really trade for B-Rob personally, but I think B-Rob's kind of like a guy, but he's not like amazing. You know, like
Yeah.
he's like a watered down Najee type of vibe, where
Yeah.
it's like it's uninspiring, 10 points, and you're so to me it's like Woody. Do I think Woody is just all of a sudden going to be RB1 if they don't do anything? I mean, maybe, but that's not what my expectations are still. You know, I expect them to do something. I expect Chubb to play. I expect Mixon to eventually come back. I know there's scary reports out there, but I don't think it's just like, cool, wheels up for Woody. He's getting 20 touchdowns. So that was never my expectation to begin with. It's always one injury away type of guys. To me, he's just cool. Like maybe week 6 comes around and whoever's there is banged up a little bit, and we can really start seeing Woody take over that backfield, similar to how we saw Chase Brown take over, where, you know, once the attrition comes in, I don't expect like week 1, let's just throw this 4th round guy out here and say, like, see what happens. I doubt that's going to happen.
And we did see like I know there was some negative reports about Chubb, like the kind of veteran, his body's been through a lot, like type of stuff.
No contact.
Yeah, but I mean the preseason stuff, it did kind of look like he had that kind of early ground grinder role, and I think, you know, same. I'm gonna reiterate a lot what you said, or not reiterate it, and just let the people know that's how I feel. But yeah, I think I am excited for Woody's role as a pass catcher, because I think outside of Chubb,
I'm pumped.
Mixon, like Mixon can do that stuff, but we even saw last year he was getting taken off the field on a lot of third downs for, you know, the Agumbawales of the world, Cam Akers, whatnot. So I'm with you. All right, I have Kraft and Strange. Would you move any of Igbuka, Golden, Burden for Loveland or Warren? Or will the tight ends on my roster outperform ADP and I'm overthinking? I mean, if I could turn Burden into one of those tight ends, I would do it. Just off of pure, I'd rather make those bets at those players because the threshold for them mattering is lower than the wide receiver threshold for Burden. But I'd assume you'd have to add on to them.
Yeah,
I'd want to know more context about the team.
I don't hate just rolling with Kraft
and the tight end premium. Oh yeah, me neither. That was more of a pure, who would you rather have, and what value will they carry come week 4 for sure.
I mean, I think if flipping a Golden or a Burden for a Loveland or Warren, basically straight up, maybe toss in a, you know, Strange or something, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to do it.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I think you already got Kraft.
Yeah, I'm with it. All right, we can touch on this best ball startup. This is an interesting one.
No tight end premium.
This is Wait, come again?
Oh, the one that we just talked about was a no tight end.
I thought you were about to unlock my whole brain that this start two tight end best ball league is no tight end premium, and I don't have to feel bad about Trey McBride going 1 pick before me. This is
You're trying to do the double tight ends again.
This is start 2 tight end and 0.75 tight end premium. You could start 5 tight ends if you wanted to. But I want to click
Shouts
over
to Big Diaz.
Shout out to Big Diaz.
Only Hampton.
Some interesting moves.
Only Hampton in 2 rounds.
And I mean, really, I think doing the best ball stuff in terms of like, I will trade away these early picks, had a chance, like could have had CD, could have had Neighbors, could have had one of these running backs, and said, F it, we ball. Give me a bunch of shots in this. You know, I get an extra 5th round pick here, 2 extra 5th round picks. I get an extra 6th round pick. I think this was
lots of futures as well.
Yeah, future picks as well.
Like he got some future first.
Yeah. And too, that's like the future first while also keeping the same number. And I actually think he might have does he have an extra pick? I feel like he has an extra pick or 2.
I like your draft. Your trade with a fantasy meatball.
Thank you. Yeah,
now you got stacks on 2/3, 2/4.
Yeah, I'm gonna leak.
You're gonna be able to build a good team there.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna leak my intel a little bit. I mean, my picks are about to come up here in the 3rd round, 3-3 and 3-10. But I think the toughest thing about best ball, like the quarterback position, in terms of like hitting enough quarterbacks that, you know, in a super flex best ball league that you feel confident are going to give you good weekly scores. Like if you could have 3 great starting quarterbacks, like that's an amazing feeling where like every single week you feel like you're pushing, you know, 20 plus points, and you're able to hit the high upside 3-4 touchdown games from one of those guys. But it is a big loss to miss out on elite running backs and wide receivers. So I think I'm trying to do that with this trade where I move off of this 2-3 here, which, hey, love Amon-Ra, love BTJ, love Nico, love Puka, love London. But I think my thought was I can move off this pick, get some additional picks here, an additional third, an additional fourth, lose this 8th round pick as a part of that deal to, be able to attack. I at least feel confident that I'll get 1 or 2 quarterbacks and still be able to hit some of these running backs and receivers that I like after starting Gibbs.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've positioned yourself well, because it's like the big Diaz strategy is like, hey, I'm just gonna kick some of these future picks, or kick some of this to future picks, and kind of build up whatever value I can get if I can hit on some guys, hit on some of those later picks, and then I can have all these extra future picks to deal with.
Yeah.
Yours is like I was able to move back just 1 round, pick up a ton of picks within the next couple rounds, and in best ball that's key, because you don't have to start these guys. But if you have a ton of guys that are going within the first 5 rounds, now all of a sudden it becomes I can take all these darts, all these flyers on different players, and I feel good that I have certain positions just kind of locked in with these bell cows.
Yeah, and it's not perfect. Okay, like this is not a perfect comparison corollary, but
It's perfect.
if I told you, Jeremy, in your lineup league, you can start Amon-Ra St. Brown, or you can start JSN and Garrett Wilson each week, and you get to pick which best score you get. Like you're taking the 2 people. You should take the 2 people every time. I know you're not a Garrett Wilson guy, so I get if you're leaning Amon-Ra. But not only is it the 2 people every time that you're doing in comparison, but it's best ball. You get both of those that could end up hitting. So not necessarily just compared to Amon-Ra, but in your lineup in some capacity. So like getting those additional bets.
It's the best week of them all.
Yeah, you have to think about the actual context of what that looks like. All right, we've got some questions we can close out there. If you are, this is a good one. This is a good one. Oh, what's up, Drake? B. Turts McGee. If you are one of the few competitive teams in the league, are you hesitant to trade with the other teams you are competing against versus if you got the same offer from a mid-tier non-competing team? So do you try to stay away, I guess, from trading with the competitive teams in your league? Yeah, I'll say the one thing I'll say is fantasy football is so random in terms of like you build your best roster and it all comes down to a 1 week sample size against an opponent of, oh my gosh, Jamar Chase had 3 for 40 when the entire season he was smashing and I lose. Like that sucks. Jalen Hurts got a concussion and he's out of the game. I felt this last year.
Yeah, I think 2 years ago or.
Yeah. So it is so random that I would not take away part of my own. You're hurting yourself, I think, when you are like cutting yourself off from other trades, setting your own personal tariffs on the other teams, if you will. In my opinion, I know, like, I think this question gets asked a lot in the context of, I just got an offer and it's somebody's trying to buy like, Mike Evans and James Conner off of me for a first. And like, I would love to have the first and the flexibility, but it's another competing team. And like, I have the depth to not have to worry about those players. And I would love, it's a dream trade for me, but I don't know. I don't want to give too much value to the other team. I think that is a little bit overvalued because they'll just find another team to do that too. So like if it makes sense for your roster to like add value for the future, I don't worry about if it's another competing team that I'm trading with.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think I do consider it, but like the example you gave where it's if you build your team right and I can pick up that future value and future first, like you said, fantasy football's random. If I'm not hedging on, hey, like it's like the people that I don't do it. I don't do it, but some people will bet against their team, right? Like for example, in March Madness, NC State went on that incredible run. It was the first year I did not take NC State to the Final Four, and then they make it to the Final Four. So I was like, oh, like I'm gonna, like some people will hedge and say, cool, if I win, I'm okay that I traded away this exciting player for a first and whatever. But if you lose and you're like, crap, that sucks, but at least I have a first and whatever. It's
Mhm.
kind of a way to hedge. I agree. I wouldn't limit that. The one thing I would do as a contender, though, is look at those non-competing teams, especially the rebuilders, and be like, am I okay with a contender getting some of these players on their team?
Mm.
Because
Right.
if there's a rebuilder team that's sitting there with Derrick Henry or CMC, and you're like, wait, if they trade not with me but with my rival, all of a sudden, the coin is flipped and everything changes. That's honestly the only time I really consider the do I need to be aggressive with the team? Because that's like, okay, do I need to go out and make this deal before they start shopping around Derrick Henry week 4 and all the contenders are like, I can just add Derrick Henry to this team or
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley or something like that. I think that's probably the most important thing to do as a competitive team is try to get ahead of that. And it might just be, hey, a bunch of Tony Pollard types and you're like, whatever. But if there's a superstar aging guy, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, and you really don't want them to end up on your rival team, then those are the deals I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And like my example too, I know I mentioned it, but if they're willing to give you a good deal for, contending assets and you're getting a first for the flexibility too, like you have to understand that you blocking that isn't a block forever. And if they're giving you a great deal, they're going to give that to another team. So they're going to get the same thing and you're not going to get the benefit of the additional first. Ooh. This is a good last question. What do you guys do for last place finishes in your leagues? I will say before we even answer this one, I think I didn't bring it up. I want to do the toilet bowl thing where the winner of the toilet bowl gets like the 213.
Oh yeah,
I think the 113 is kind of crazy.
You still have time.
I know some. Yeah, and whatever. I'm the commissioner. It's our leagues. We can tell people what we're doing. But I haven't written the bylaws yet. That's a post startup thing. You guys know what to do. I don't know if I have any funky last place stuff. I'm trying to think. Usually it's like the redraft leagues. I feel like I have goofier ones than my dynasty ones because it's like strategy to tank. So it's like you're on purpose tanking. I don't want to sit in a Waffle House just because.
I want like a little bit, but yeah, everyone's like it's a strategy to tank. We tried to do like buy a jersey from like the winning team's roster or something like that, but that hasn't really been enforced before. It's harder to do in dynasty leagues. But I did do one in college, whereas if you lost, you had to sit on a bus for 24 hours, I think. You had to sit on the college buses for the entire shift.
Dang.
Uh-oh.
It's, I don't know. This is so I'm whipping this out mostly because the rookie draft is this weekend, and all the previous champs wear their championship rings to the rookie draft. Because like, when am I gonna wear a fantasy football like
Oh, I know you were wearing that this last weekend.
high school class ring looking thing. But this thing's beautiful, man. We do it every year. We add in an additional I think like $15 to our buy-in so that we can get one every year.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that wasn't the
we
question.
have one of the WWE belt things.
Oh, that's nice.
That was the trophy that won.
We do a big trophy, but it's a massive one that I put in the office, and my wife is very happy that I lost last year so that it went to another person's home because it's this big trophy, and we do the nameplates of the teams that won, and mine's a goofy name, but there's like one team's name was like the Washington Foreskins one year, and it's like, all right, come on, bro. Yeah. Like, what are we doing?
Like in the back of the Zoom meeting is.
Yeah. All right,
you got to turn that against the wall.
The true last one. What is up, Freezy Fantasy? 12-man PPR redraft trade Pickens.
I like the name.
And Aaron Jones for Chase Brown. Other wide receivers are Nico, Jennings, and Olave. RBs are Genti and Kamara. With that receiver room, are you trading away Pickens and Jones for Chase Brown? I do love Chase Brown.
I think I would. I think Chase Brown does low-key have like RB1 upside. I that's going to be a high offense.
We're seeing
terrible
the preseason
defense,
too.
And there's nothing I can think of that would really get in his way. Zach Moss is not there anymore.
Samaje Perine is the perfect
if he was there.
third down snap eater.
Like he's the Tanner McKee running back of he's not going to
And
take your job, but he's there.
And I mean, like Taj Brooks could be fine. I know like there's been some positive reports from Burrow about what he's done, but I haven't really seen or felt anything in the preseason that makes me feel like there's going to be some sort of impact. But yeah, I think the Samaje Perine signing is the perfect, like, this is a guy who just will play snaps for an NFL team, but has no risk for taking over like a significant role or red zone stuff. It's just more of, we need a second running back that can take some of these, third down pass protection stuff, understands the offense kind of deal. It's perfect. I love Chase Brown.
Yeah, and as a redraft league, because this is a redraft question, I just want to shoot for the upside. I assume I can figure out wide receiver. I assume I can figure out those depth pieces. But if I just need this year, give me Chase Brown. And let me hope I can get that guy that really puts up that top 10 year, which, I mean, if we saw what he was doing at the end of the year last year, completely reasonable.
All right. Any closing thoughts, remarks, other than bang this one? See you guys Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time for the best ball draft stream. One of the last ones. We probably have 2 more of these left until it's Thursday night football, and I can no longer draft. Well, I say can no longer draft best ball teams. I'm sure I'll do they do like the resurrection ones where it's like the 4th week contest for everybody who's 11th, 10th place in all their pods. So I'm sure I'll do those. I'm sure we'll do some playoff ones too. The playoff format is super fun. I won't do the whole playoff best ball tangent when we're 2.5 hours into the best ball or to the trade show stream trying to close out, but be on the lookout for those.
Absolutely.
Any closing thoughts? I started the salute early, but
yeah, no, I was like, no, I mean, I'll just say shouts to you, Will. Thanks for putting together all those leagues for the viewers, and of course hosting the show.
And Diaz,
really running the and Diaz, and you do a great job with the show and helping out there with the new overlays and all of that. Not to get you all teared up,
right before,
but
be crying in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, you can now share new feature on the site. You can now share your trade calculators with your league mates, so that should help make things a little bit easier. It's been on my to-do list for a while, but
nice.
I don't know. I'm just excited. I feel like I'm all over the place. I'm like, got to do this and got to do this and got to do this.
Football season,
but
man. It's finally upon us.
We are here,
and we will be doing. I think we're gonna figure out exactly what it all look like, but the Dynasty trade show will definitely not be disappearing when the season is upon us.
Oh, for sure.
So do not be worried.
Do not panic. We will be right here, bringing you our hot takes or mild takes.
There we go.
And we will own up. We will own up to our misses.
Exactly. All right, and we're not self-conscious about it. All right, so stop asking. No panic at this, Cisco.
I feel like no one here knows what we're talking about.
No, it was definitely one of those things that was sometimes you try to do the full circle thing.
It was positive.
Yeah, it's just my brain works in mysterious ways. But I appreciate you all. Much love. Hopefully I'll see you Thursday night, the best ball stream. If not, we will see you in the Discord. Link in the description. You thought I was going to say next Tuesday night. Discord link in the description. Oh. And Tuesday
Mix
night
up
for the next
Thursday night, Tuesday night.
Yes. Thursday night, Tuesday night. See you then. Much love. Peace out.